the man with the million.
Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of the Gamers Council. I'm your host, Webdave, along with my co-host, Hargeet Chani. Hargeet, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, It's a few days away, 7 days from our showcase for Xbox, but we got Summer Game Fest starting on Friday. We'll all be out there a lot of us will be out there in LA. But yeah, it'll be fun. We'll catch up with people, but hopefully we get some good announcements.
Exactly. I'm so fired up, actually, to meet everybody and to hang out with everybody. Plus, all the announcements and everything else is going to be just cool and fun. But we are definitely blessed today to have with us the one and only, yes, that's right, the man with the million himself, Randall Thor 19. Rand, how you doing, buddy?
What's going on, Dave and Hargeet?
Mm-hmm.
It's that great time of the year, as they say. What is it? Christmas for gamers, essentially. So
Exactly.
We are here to talk about, I don't know, whatever Dave's got in mind to talk about, I guess.
Ooh.
Yeah.
This is his show. He's got the reins.
Oh, that's a scary thought.
Speaking of Christmas for gamers, we actually have a console launching this week.
We do.
New console.
Yeah.
Switch 2 coming out.
Rand,
Did
you
you get
yours
one?
pre-ordered?
Oh yeah, you know
course.
me. I got mine pre-ordered.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting one. I know Hargeet is.
Nice.
So
I couldn't care less.
Go figure. I'll listen to your show enough times. I think you're not a Nintendo hater. It's just not your platform of choice, right?
I'm very, very apathetic when it comes to Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, it's not for everybody. That's for sure. I do want to give a big shout out to Lord Starkiller. Before the show even started earlier today, he was nice enough. I don't think he was going to be able to make it to the live show, so he decided to, I'm going to gift some memberships. And he did. Let's see. He did gifted to, get the old specs on because Dave's blind. Let's see. El Nini. Ramadas J. Cord Wagner. Radio Matt Gaming. And Chris H. Siri. If I butchered your name, I'm sorry.
Nice to meet you.
Ah, shit. Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, my iPhone kicked on when I said the evil name. I'm just kidding. That AI, it's intelligent. Oh my goodness. My. All right, so welcome out to the chat. I mean, we got tons of people already here. We got some of your friends here. Look, Special Nick is in the chat. Howdy, Special Nick.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good.
Isn't it bedtime?
I think he's just getting up for work.
Is he just getting up now? Okay.
He's at work, going to work. Yeah, that's it. And Dreadpool's in the chat. But yeah, there's so many others. And thank you all so much for being here. Let's see. Massho, Nerds and Other Legends, E-Ranks, Day Rizzy. What's up, Day Rizzy? Awesome. Tell us, Ray. Let's see. Music, 72. BT Maverick. I said Massho already, didn't I? Yeah, let's see. Who else? Let's see, game adaptation, newscast, Toolman. Well, I've seen the Toolman here. Yeah. So and a whole bunch more. Rick L. and more. So thank you all so much for being here. But I didn't mention your name. It's just because there's so many, and we got to get this show going. But yeah, so what we're going to be talking about today is a little bit of everything, but not too crazy. But of course, the big topic we're going to get to in a few. But I think we'll probably start off with something a little simpler And something that's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird that it's coming out now, and a lot of a lot of speculation as to why. But we'll go ahead and I'll pull this up. So there was a post today from People Can Fly, the game developer, and I'm not really sure what all's going on. I know that they're supposedly doing some work on the Gears of War, the new one. But apparently that's not affected from what some people are saying. But yeah, so Hargeet, did you want to read any of that?
Sure. An important update. Today, we made a very difficult decision to suspend the development of Project Gemini and Project Bifrost. The relevant current reports have been released to the market. The suspension of the Gemini project is a consequence of the fact that the publisher has not presented us with a draft of the subsequent content rider to the publishing agreement covering the terms and conditions. Wow, this is pretty crazy. Of further milestones on Project Gemini, and the lack of communication from the publisher as to its willingness to continue or terminate the Gemini project. Project Bifrost was suspended due to the above and the analysis of the group's cash flow, which showed a lack of prospects for securing organizational resources and funds necessary to continue the production and release of this project. As a result, we have to significantly regroup as a studio and scale down our teams, which hurts the most. We wish to express our deepest regret and sadness over how these events have unfolded and our sincere gratitude for everyone's contribution up to this point.
Yeah. So craziness. As a little add-on to that, Korkenstein put up that Project Delta was a Sony game. The Project Bifrost was a VR self-published game. They still have E-Day with Coalition, and a word around that the Gemini game was supposedly something with Square. And he said, "I'm not really sure why they'd be partnering with them again, but maybe that's why it didn't get finished, because of their kind of the bad experience they've had with each other, I guess." So I don't know. Hargeet, we'll go to you first on this. What are your thoughts on this? Is this any big deal, or is this just kind of like just time to recalibrate? And
I mean, it's kind of par for the course, unfortunately, these days, right? So, presuming these were like AAA level games, it's very common now for games to just not make it. And I guess if Gemini is the Square one, do we expect that to maybe Outriders 2? Maybe, I don't know if that was really the potential there.
mm-hmm.
And maybe Square is kind of feeling the crunch, right? They they expected more from FF16. It did okay, right? But it just didn't get to the levels they wanted, and maybe that was the cash flow they were hoping to get to fund some of these other projects, and didn't quite work out. We'll see if Switch 2 helps them with some sales as they bring some of those games over from like previous gens that didn't make it to Switch, right? And then potentially maybe they're going to announce finally bringing some of those games that were locked to PlayStation over to Xbox. Maybe that'll help as well. But maybe that's what it is, and I don't know. But it seems kind of potentially realistic to think maybe they just want to do an Outriders 2. Outriders did okay because it was in Game Pass, right? Day one in Game Pass.
Fun game.
And Square was finally actually happy with the outcome of something, because they almost always come out and say, we were disappointed with the sales of, and it's like you insert game X, it's just always whatever game they put out, whether it's their major games or whether it was the Western studios that they shunted out with IO and then Crystal Dynamics, and Eidos Montreal and all those studios they just got rid of, right? So I don't know where they are with this specific thing, if it is the Square game and where Square is, because Square just seems to always be in trouble. So that's probably what it is. That'd be my guess. Bifrost, you're saying was with who? Who that was?
Let's see.
That one potentially with
the Bifrost was a self-published.
Self-published. Okay.
Yeah,
but it's supposedly
VR, like a VR game they were working on.
Well, good luck with VR, right? I mean,
exactly. Maybe that was pretty in that one.
Maybe that so it would. partner with who? Maybe Meta, or it would be with PlayStation VR. Maybe that was where it was going, and then PSVR 2, of course, has fizzled entirely. So maybe that that pushed that one to kind of go to pasture. So, I mean, this is what it is. I'm not surprised that these things happen. It's kind of common these days, right? It's just normal. We're at a level now where this is kind of like every other industry. There's just a lot of participants. There's a lot of money that was, thrown into this environment to try to get, returns. And then you just get games that get canceled. Like, this is just, it's too much. And eventually this is what happens. You saturate, and some things just don't make it. So
Right.
sad, but hey, hopefully they stay afloat with at least helping with E-Day. I think that was what they said they were working on, right? They were helping with E-Day.
Yeah.
I don't know what else they're working on. I'm sure there's other stuff they're working on as well. But if this was all they had, that kind of sucks, right?
Exactly.
But
yeah. I don't know. Randy, you got
Sad.
any thoughts on this?
I mean, it sounds like, at least for Project Gemini, that they've been essentially ghosted by whatever publisher was doing the game, because it says that that they couldn't get any more terms and conditions covering the terms and conditions of further milestones, and the lack of communication from the publisher as to its willingness to either continue or terminate the project. So it's almost like they were left on red.
Mm-hmm.
Like they hit like a milestone, or they the publisher liked the initial pitch, and there was like a loose agreement of what it would be, but then when they wanted to nail down specifics about like payments based on milestone levels and stuff, the publisher just basically ghosted them. And it's one of those things where, at least reading this, it's like, well, do you want to do the game with us or not? And they're not saying anything, so People Can Fly is probably like, well, we need income.
Yeah.
We need a surety. So if we're not getting the go ahead either way, and considering, I doubt this is one of those things where, we haven't heard from him in like a couple weeks. It's probably like, a couple months where they're like, yeah, we can't have these people working on something that we're not even sure is going to continue in the future. So we probably, because they say the projects haven't been, I mean, I don't know. I guess you can, when they say they use the word suspend, I guess I always think, well, if something's suspended, that could always mean you could bring it back. Like, it's not, they didn't use the word canceled, right? So they're probably like, well, we don't know if we're going to get any money from this, so we're going to pause these two projects, put the people on other projects that need help, and go from there. And maybe by that time, the publisher or whatever will get back to us, and we can resume development. It's kind of tough out there for indie developers. Like, they're indie, so they kind of live off of agreements with other publishers for their games. And they wanted to do self-publishing, but that can be hit or miss, especially with the type of games they usually like to make, which are usually kind of triple A-ish or double A-ish, whatever way you would like kind of want to define them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not surprising. The industry is kind of going through a lot of things. So it could easily just be a publisher being like, we don't want to do this game anymore, but it's not, which I think is kind of crappy if they're not willing to tell them that they don't want to do the game anymore and they're just stringing them along. But I mean, how many people have been laid off in the industry in the last like 2 years? Or something like 10,000 or some ridiculous number. They hired a lot of devs during COVID because they thought the COVID effect, the pandemic effect, would last forever. And as soon as it was over, the numbers went back down, even to like down below the pre-pandemic levels, which at that point companies needed to start reducing headcount. I mean, even like when you look at Activision, I don't know the exact numbers, but like Hargeet, didn't like Activision increase their headcount by almost double during the pandemic?
Yeah, it went from when they were about to be acquired, it was like 10,000, and by the time they were acquired, it was 17. So they escalated quite a bit. Yeah.
I mean, it seems like every week or at least every month, there's another news piece about a developer going under or something like this, and I mean, it sucks because People Can Fly is a great dev. They made some great games. So yeah, I mean, they didn't announce any layoffs alongside this. So maybe it really is just gonna like, okay, we're gonna suspend the project because we got the help with Gears E-Day, which we're assuming is a next year game, right? So they're probably gonna be working on that for a while. And then the rumored game with PlayStation. So they're probably moving those people to both one of those projects. And then, of course, like, hey, if the Gears E-Day stuff goes well, maybe you get another contract with Microsoft for something. The game with PlayStation goes well, maybe you get another contract with that. Maybe another publisher likes what they do and they're okay. But it is disappointing to see that. But, you know, that's just the way of the industry right now, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they do say that they have to significantly regroup as a studio and scale down our teams.
Okay.
So you're right. They haven't actually announced them, but
But it sounds like they're coming.
sounds like they're going to go there. But you're right also that maybe they get something in the interim, or one of these publishers finally calls them back. And
Yeah. Public
it's like,
outcry,
oh,
right?
shoot. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't realize we needed to talk to you. Like, duh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a couple of companies that did that to Microsoft. They kind of called them out, and then amazing, like a week later, everything's fine. We're all fine here. How are you? You know, kind of thing. So, you know, it is what it is. Maybe they just needed to put that out there and to either get the ball rolling or, you know, what's the technical term? Shit or get off the pot. There you go. Maybe not technical, but one way of looking at it for sure. So yeah. Oh, look, Epic Treasure's here. And look, Paris Lily's here too. Wow. Awesome. It's great seeing everybody in the chat, hanging out with us. That's right, man. This is awesome, man. It's really going to be a good show tonight because, like I said, I'm excited to have Rand in the house tonight, and it's really I do appreciate you taking the time to come on tonight, man. And we won't keep you too long, I promise. But we do have some things we want to talk about with you because, like I said, I like your insight, your the perspective you have, and it was not necessarily the same as everybody else's. That's what I like about it. You know, Rand is pretty much a straight shooter, and that's what I like about him the best. That and he's a nice guy too. You know, it's kind of like why I like hanging out with Hargeet because super nice guy.
Hargeet doesn't think so. Hargeet thinks I'm an asshole.
What?
Whatever.
Me?
Hargeet's like, why aren't you ever coming to LA so I can meet you? And I'm like, one day, maybe one day.
Well, eventually you do. Yeah, eventually you will. Right?
Eventually. Oh, you know what? And I'll, as a side note, I thought it was kind of cool that when Colt came in and hung out with you in Chicago, that was really cool. There's pictures that you guys posted.
Well, yeah, Colt was awesome. Colt and his wife were visiting Holly, and Holly lives pretty close to me, so it was like, yeah, let's go. Been talking to Colt for years, so that was a lot of fun. Colt cooked me a steak too. They ordered some deep dish pizza, and which I'm not eating that. So Colt cooked me up some steak and some broccoli.
Nice.
So it was good. It was good. It was some good steak that day.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man. Like I said, the community is pretty amazing, and that you guys were able to work that out. I think it's awesome because I mean, let's face it, you guys. He says it all the time, and I know you do too. That you guys are almost like best friends, And it's nice that you guys finally got a chance to actually meet in person. So epic at the proportion there. I think it's pretty cool. I do want to bring this up since we got Special Nick is in the chat. Let's just kind of jump on this real quick because they had a little project that they've been working on, and I think it's pretty cool. I don't know if can you read any of that there? Harvey?
Oh, we're not talking about Gears Reloaded
Console
and how Nick
Wars.
said it was a Gears collection, but it ended up being one game, and we're not talking about that. Oh, okay.
Oh wait, we could talk about that. Yeah, I mean, technically he didn't backpedal. He just now he's saying they're breaking it up into 3 games.
Oh yeah,
what he
sure.
says?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey, it's okay. It's okay to be wrong, Nick. It's okay. We still love you. I still love you. I'll still come on Xbox there. You can still come on Xbox too. It's okay.
There you go. And what did you?
I'll still give him credit. He's been saying that they were making that thing forever. Now,
Yeah.
granted, it isn't all 3,
But I don't know. I see.
He's right.
Who wins in this regard? Because Jez said a collection never
The
existed.
gamers.
Well, no,
the
because I
gamers
want
win.
to get Hargeet as the referee in this one because Jez says the collection never existed, and Nick said there was a collection coming, and it's just one game. So who's actually won that argument then, Hargeet? You're an impartial referee on this one.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they're both right in different ways, right? But like if they end up doing all three, which I think they will. I mean, it makes sense, right? If this one works out, which it will, they will do the other ones. Then I would say Nick wins. But the potential of it being, hey, it's a Halo Master Chief Collection like thing, was possibly on the table. But then they said, hey, maybe we just split it up, right? And that's fine too, right? That could be a decision they made in between. This is for years now, right? But like, especially when they talked about this. How many years? 3, 4, 5 years? I don't know how long it's been. It's been a long time he's been talking about this. So I'm sure in between they're like, hey, why don't we split this up? Why don't we just do one game at a time and see how that goes instead of doing a Master Chief Collection?
So Nick gets an extension for another 10 years is what you're saying?
I don't know how long it takes for the other ones. I have no idea if it's going to be multiple years or, so is it going to be like the first one is done and it takes like 3 years for the next one, 4 years, 5 years? I don't know. I don't know it might be 6 months. I have no idea. Right. So, but either way, I'll give them both credit. It's right that it's not like a Master Chief Collection equivalent. So it's not a 1, 2, and 3, maybe even Judgment all bundled together. Right. Fair enough. It's not a collection, but they are remaking it and it's there. Right. So they're both kind of right.
So he wins by default? Is that the way?
So I don't know if either one really lost that or won that. Like whatever. So
there you go. Well, all right. So, all right, two things. First of all, we do want to get to what we got on the screen. We'll get that in a second. We do have a comment. If you don't mind reading that, Paris's comment out loud there.
Yeah, I'm going to Chicago and meeting Rand 2, like it or not.
Yeah.
All right, some stalker syndrome there. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing.
All right. We got Sarcastic Taurus became a YouTube member. Thank you.
That's right. And just so you know, if you become a member, it's only $1. All it is, and with that, you get all use of all the cool emojis. And in fact, this, of course, we was trying to do a special one, and our special one for tonight, of course, is the Randall Thor emoji. Yes.
Ooh.
So yeah, you can actually put in Randall's emoji, and of course, you got my emoji and Hargeet's emoji as well. So check that out. There you go. If you get a chance to burn them up, have fun with them. Even Holly's even in there too, in her little Jedi outfit. I like it. So, and then we do have this comment real quick.
Yeah, JMac, member for 22 months. Man, nice. Happy Showcase Week. Hashtag Graybeards in the building. Xbox World Order.
There you go. That's right.
I got a bunch of gray in my beard now.
Do you?
Oh boy.
Well, little. There's some white peeking in on there. So
I definitely
not fully gray, but it will be eventually.
Yeah. Almost all the gray hair I have is gray. What little hair I got left is going to the dark side, as it were. Not in a good way. But yeah. So let's read this real quick on the.
Sure. We are rammed. Seeing the I don't know. Seeing the response from folks has been amazing, and this whole experience has been very cool so far. This is a setup of Console Wars, which is a card game that John had, I assume it's just John, but John had brought it to us last year.
Mm-hmm.
John Clark of Xbox Era. So yeah, I guess they're trying to get it out there and see if it can gain some traction, right? So yeah, good luck to them.
Exactly. I just wanted to mention it, and you can check out the special Nick. I'm sure we'll have a link to that as well. And we'll try and put a link to it in the description here in just a little bit. We can add it to the chat so that people can check that out. And Nick, if you have a link to it, you're more than welcome to. You have admin power, so you're more than welcome to drop that link where people can actually directly order that and get that. I have no problem with that at all. But yeah, Console Wars is pretty cool. It's a project they've been working on for a while, and I'm excited that it's released. And much success to them. I hope things go well on that front. It's always good to get to other members of the community and their thoughts. Hargeet and Rand, have you guys seen this?
Oh boy.
What is this? Is this real? And what does it actually mean? Is this wraps? Is it systems, specials, giveaways? What is this? Anybody know?
Rand,
I haven't seen this before, so this is new to me.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
Looks like fan concept.
Is it?
No.
Let's see. says Sega and Xbox can talk very good. Xbox are teaming up to unleash a mind-blowing lineup of limited edition Xbox Series X console with jaw-dropping designs. Let's see, set to hit the store shelves globally. Ooh, that's cool. As part of the epic new partnership. New partnership? What partnership would that be? Let's see. Whispers in the industry even hints it could spark a full-on acquisition of Sega. No, I don't think that. Well, there's a bigger picture of that one. I like that one. It looks pretty good.
It's pretty cool.
Looks photoshopped. I mean, it looks good. I like that one better though. If that would be a real deal. But again,
Sega.
yeah. Oh, wait, yeah. Is that? I do need to have that queued up, don't I? Let's see here. Where is it? Wow. I just scrolled right past it. Way to go, Dave. Way to go. There you go. So, yeah. But, I don't know. Rand, do you think this looks plausible, or is this just somebody's cheap attempt at Photoshop?
I mean, it's obviously a cheap attempt at Photoshop.
It is.
Do I think it's possible? You never know how acquisitions and partnerships could go in the future, but the fact that it's leading with hardware, which seems like Xbox is slowly kind of not necessarily moving away from, but also not really stocking shelves with.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe this at all.
Yeah.
Not saying that they couldn't acquire Sega in like 4 years if they still feel like they could or they needed to, or there was growth there that Satya wanted. But even still, acquiring stuff after what they just went through may not be on the plan, may not be part of the plans for a while. So if you were going to ask me what are the veracity that I think this is true on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being like absolutely true, it's going to hit store shelves tomorrow. And 1 being like completely made up, I'd put it at a 1.
Yeah, I'll have to kind of tend to go with that. The thing that gets me about this would be like, I mean, why would they do an exclusive on these models when they don't even do like special editions? The only one that I know of is the Halo one, right? And then other than that, it's been wraps. Once wraps came out, I mean, look, they got Call of Duty.
It was a wrap? Once
They
wraps
got,
came out, it was a wrap?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. Oh, yeah, tricky one. Yeah. And then the Doom wrap, Hargeet, you even got that, didn't you? It looks, looks really good. And, that's an easy way to customize your console without having to spend more money. And they're going to make money off of it too. So why not? To me, it just, that makes more sense than the whole putting out new system. Now, they do have, and some of these are really cool, like very limited edition systems that have come out that have been like one-offs, or like maybe a 10 made that they do for giveaways and stuff like that, which are pretty cool. I think we've seen a few of those in the past. Some of those are going pretty high price tag, and then some of those like collectors are like, ooh, I gotta get that. But as far as just something that's purchasable in stores, I just don't see it. Hargeet, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical on the hardware part of it. Unless it really is an acquisition and they want to do something like this, and maybe it's more to spur kind of a global push to say that Xbox is relevant in countries other than the US. That could be a potential, but it just seems so like there's opportunity after opportunity to do this with other games that they have, let alone publishers, that I would have expected them to do that with plenty of their games. They haven't. To your point, like the only one that they have is Halo. I have the Halo Edition console. That's the only one they've done. And normally, like they would do tons of these. Every time there's a big game, they would be putting one out. But now it's just been the wrap. And maybe that's just because of like constraints on how they can develop those and push them out. And the wrap is a lot easier, and you just get money for a wrap instead of a full console, which unfortunately for them was a massive loss every time you bought a console, right? They were losing upwards of a couple $100 or something stupid like that on an Xbox every time you bought it. Now that the prices have gone up, I don't know if that's still the case or not. I don't know, but either way, it's still a loss that they had to take, and maybe they're just like, we don't want to do that, right? So let's just do the rest. So this is why it seems odd for this. I wouldn't put it past them for a Sega acquisition. That's certainly in the in the possibility, in the realm of possibility. But as far as these boxes, they look cool, right? Again, I don't know what the push would be for this. If it's specific to like saying, hey, we're partnering with Sega to be the next Sega in a more console proportion instead of like leaving the console, maybe I could see that. But again, I don't know. It just doesn't really add up. So but hey, I wouldn't put it past being possible. I wouldn't say it's a 1 like Rand. I'd say it's probably like a 3. But it just seems very unlikely to do that with hardware, unless you're saying now, hey, that they've increased the price of the console, that it's now profitable. Then okay, I can see it, right? Then it might make sense. I don't know if they're at that level yet. So I still think they're going to lose money every time they sell one of these things. So I don't think they want to sell more. I think they want to just sell you one and get the money back by you either subscribing to Game Pass or buying games. So that's kind of what they want to do. So I don't know. As far as Sega as a next acquisition, it's always possible. I would think they'd be more strategic. I've always said I think the next acquisition is going to be a Microsoft thing that is in a different area, right? They've already spent a lot of time on ABK, which ate up years of Microsoft being able to acquire and expand in other areas for Microsoft. So I think they're going to have other things in mind. That's just my guess. But it could be that the next thing is still in the gaming world. And if it is, then I would suggest they would look at things that worked with what they did with their acquisitions. And I don't see Sega being that. Sega is awesome from a content. I would love it. I would love it from a content perspective. Yeah. But I don't think it from a financial strategy perspective would make as much sense as a Valve or a Take-Two or something like that, where you just have consistent revenue being generated. I think that's going to be their marker for the next thing, because that worked. ABK worked, right? From the perspective of making money, it worked, right? Yeah. And that's what they are happy about. They were giddy when they had those first numbers. I'm talking about Satya and Amy Hood to talk about Call of Duty just did this. It wasn't even in that quarter. They're like, Call of Duty just, hey, we got this much. Like, come on. They love it. They love the fact that they're printing money, right? That's what they're going to look for. They want that kind of thing where they can say to shareholders, hey, we invested your money and this is what you got back, right? So that's what they want to be able to do. So that's what I would expect. Sega, again, for me, I would love to have Sega, because that means that entire library of games suddenly is in Game Pass, and Sega has tons of awesome games. But I just, again, they have I think Rovio is part of their suite. They have that mobile, but I would just look for Valve or Take-Two. Those would be the ones that seem obvious from a cash perspective, right? But whatever, we will see. I still think the next thing is not going to be in gaming. I think they have other areas, AI, quantum, computing. There's cloud capabilities they probably want to go after. There's so much stuff that Microsoft has to deal with, and they already spent years litigating this ABK thing, and it's like, yo, it's time to do the other stuff we need to worry about. That would be my guess. Smaller things here and there, no problem. But if it's going to be a big thing, I don't think they want to get involved in that for a while, because they just real like 3 years or something like that. This finally 2 weeks ago, it finally wrapped up. It took a long time to get through ABK. So yeah, my guess would be they would go somewhere else. Because this would be a probably in the multi-billion range, right? So, right. But either way, it's just my thoughts.
Well, and one thing about it too is that now that the, I guess, best way to say it is the environment, and not to get political, but the political environment is definitely different than it was before. So, and everything is dismissed now, and because pretty much everything they were fighting against them, Microsoft made the argument null and void because they started putting their games everywhere. Yeah. Even their quote unquote exclusives are now like, they can point to all this and go, we're playing ball, and I think as long as they don't go for a publisher, they can pretty much still buy anything that they need. We know there are probably some smaller studios and stuff that they probably would like to lock down, and maybe they already have, and they haven't talked about it because technically, as long as they're not trading on the stock market, they don't have to mention it at all. To be honest with you, they really don't. If as long as the company that they're purchasing isn't a stock market company, it's one of those strategic things where they can wait to make those announcements. Eventually, the shareholders are going to want to know for sure what all assets you have, but there's definitely some things that they can kind of play with, because I know we had E3 years ago. They made an announcement and then named off all the different studios that they did acquire at that time.
Yeah.
But that was a strategic announcement at that
Yeah,
time.
look, the smaller
So-
stuff. Well, people think shareholders care as much about like those kind of ons, going ons. It's not. It's going to be the
Mm-mm.
board. But even they would not care about small things. They just don't. Like it's a multi-trillion-dollar company. They're not going to care about some a couple $100 million thing. They're like, yeah, whatever. It's too small for them, right? So from a shareholder perspective, they don't get to $3 trillion by having like 4 shareholders. No, the shareholders are pretty much everybody on the planet has freaking Microsoft stock, whether they know it or not, right? Your pension plan at your freaking company or your government or whatever is very, very, very likely, invested in Microsoft. So pretty much everybody on the planet has some freaking investment in freaking Microsoft, whether you know it or not. So shareholders don't care. All of you aren't sitting there going, "Oh, I need to know what they did with this investment." Like, yeah, give me a break. It's not. It's the board. If it's big, $70 billion is big, right? Then you need a return, right? You need to understand what you're doing with it, how you get money back. But in general, they're not going to care. So it's really strategy. Where is Microsoft investing? So that the overall share price, right, when somebody in the market will look at them and say, oh, they're investing in more AI capability. Oh, okay, cool. That will yield this much in returns, right? That's what they're going to look at, right? But if it's a small little piddly-wing thing, they're not going to care. It's just going to be noise to them.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. It's not, it's if they buy something, cool, but it's not something that is really necessarily expected for them to do. We do have a super chat. We'll get to that in just a second. I do want to welcome out the over 250 people we here have live. We have people watching us now on X and on YouTube, and so we appreciate both places that are that are watching that. We do appreciate you being here. And then of course, let me get to that. There we go. All right. So I'll let you put up that super chat there, Hargeet.
Here we go. P-Lump, $2. Yeah, I know I'm late, but play my theme song.
There we go.
Damn.
That's not is that the right song? I could have sworn that was the right song. All right. But anyway. Love you, P-Lump, and thank you for the $2 super chat. And we do appreciate you for sure. So yeah, all right, moving on, as it were. But yeah, and Spartan 661, good seeing you out there, buddy. Ray's in the house. What's up? How's Ray still hanging out with us? P-Lump, Amit Kumar. Awesome seeing you guys here. So I guess let's get to this. So, well, because this is on the docket first. We're gonna get this first before we get to the, the showcase. A lot of things going on. Ran, have you, are you excited for this? Even though it's multi-plat and.
I mean, I'll always watch it, but Summer Games Fest is always, I would say, in comparison to the Game Awards, the lesser of the two. When it comes to like game reveals, big announcements and stuff, I think it's clearly the redheaded stepchild of both. Because usually, I mean, historically, it's always been each one of these companies also has their own sort of conference or press show at some point. So Ubisoft and EA and everybody else will save their big hitters for their own thing, giving maybe some scraps or whatever to Jeff. So I mean, I like watching these things because I like to see what new games are coming out. So yeah, I mean, I'll be watching it, but I'm not expecting I'm not expecting like to come out after it being like that was a 10 out of 10 show or a 9 out of 10 show. You know, I'm expecting some good announcements, probably with some release dates for games this fall, considering GTA 6 skipped out to next year. So, yeah, I mean, I'm always happy to watch like new game shows and stuff. So,
Yeah, yeah, I'm right there with you. I think it's I think there'll be some cool things, and I do believe that I guarantee you Nintendo's gonna have some stuff there just because they want to
what time is it on June 6th?
Let's see.
It's 2:00 Pacific
2
for
Pacific.
Summer Game
huh?
Fest.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is. Friday, June 6th, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, schedule events. State of Unreal. It's the Unreal Engine show thing that starts on the 3rd, so that's tomorrow. And then the 6th is the Summer Game Fest. Day of Developers, so later on that day on the 6th. Let's see. Bale and Pitt? I don't know. And digital developer encapsulating their showcase on the same day as 6th. And then there's a bunch of other little ones. Women-led games going to be on the 7th. That looks pretty cool. Latin American game showcase. That's pretty cool. Lots of other ones. Green Games, Frost Games, and then of course the one that we're most excited for is going to be on June 8th. Is the Xbox reveal, and then later on that day will be the PC gaming show, and then stepping up pretty big. Which Hargeet, I don't know if you end up getting tickets for that or not. I got denied. Like, yeah, you're not on the list. I don't think so. But anyway, that's okay. The June 8th Hideko Kojima premiere party for Death Stranding 2. So sounds cool. I will just watch the feed.
I think I'll be like
packing up and getting
dead
ready for
after
flight the
like
next day.
freaking the. Well, no, I'm leaving Tuesday. But June 8th, we'd be doing the showcase stuff, right? So
Yeah. Well, it's like later.
'cause
That
remember,
night,
we will have to clean up and get everybody out of there. So,
Yep.
so I'll be, I think I'll be done after that. It'll probably be just dinner and go back to the hotel.
Yep. I'm with you. I'm with you.
But yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on this week. Not quite as intense as like an E3, but still pretty cool. Anything you're looking forward to, Hargeet, or anything you think might be at the summer showcase that that we may not expect? Do you think Microsoft may do? And Rand, this goes to you too. Do you think Microsoft may, if it's a game that's cross gen or that might be the place that they announce something like that? That like, hey, this is coming here, kind of thing.
I mean, they could always do a Gears Reloaded trailer here.
Yeah.
With if you wanted to, I mean, you could stick it on the end of like a Gears E-Day trailer at your own show if you really wanted to include both. But you could easily do a Gears Reloaded trailer here, being like, hey, beta starts in July or something. But yeah, typically Xbox usually keeps their announcements for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I think Cog told the story when we were on Defining Duke this week that Keighley got up and walked out of the Xbox show last year, and never came back. And he said he looked kind of upset. I mean, because Keighley's show wasn't really well received last year. Not unlike the Game Awards show, which I think a lot of people said was like a 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, one of the best ever.
Yeah.
So it was almost like he was like painting the picture like Jeff saw these amazing announcements for Xbox and was like, screw them, and just like left.
Yeah.
Or whatever, I mean, you never know. They could get something small, like Minecraft Legends, or Minecraft Dungeons 2, perhaps. But I think Xbox keeps any of like significant announcements to their own stuff. I don't know. Hargeet, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll do something. I think there's a couple. They're listed, right? So as one of the partners.
Yeah, but that's because the Xbox show is a part of Games Fest.
Mm.
Not necessarily because they're part of Keighley's show. Like that whole week is Games Fest, right?
You mean like play days?
Yeah. So that's Xbox is part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, perhaps that's all it is, but I think they'll have something. I think they'll have some announcement there. But you're right, it's probably gonna be smaller. I don't think it'll be something big. It could be, if you think about like Oblivion, for instance, right? Could they do a Fallout 3 remaster, remake, whatever the heck you want to call it, and announce it there? That's kind of a big thing, right? But it's not like a new thing,
I think it's
right?
also
So
way too early for that.
it could be, right? So, but that kind of thing I could think of, right? They could do something like that, right? Uh, Maybe they just like re-announce some of the stuff they've already just recently done, right? Maybe they just do that. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting as to what Xbox might have there. Look, I think overall, I don't usually find his to be terrible, but like to your point, Rand, I think like the ratings he puts out, like the poll. What did you think of this showcase? And I think his is always D or below for the last couple of years, right? And he's like, well, that's not cool. I usually rate them about a B. I don't think they're bad, but I'm also I like indie type games. I like every type. So I find good stuff, whether it's, a bunch of it is just boring to me, but there's other stuff that sounds cool. So I'm like, cool, that was good for me. I expect it to be sort of more of a industry mix. I'm not expecting it to be like the next Zelda is announced here or the next Halo is announced here, right? That's just not what my expectation. So I just go into it that way. But I could see something from other major studios, major publishers, being here. We know that what's his name, Hideo Kojima, he's going to be there, right? So that's got to be for Death Stranding 2, my guess, right? It's going to be Death Stranding 2. So I don't know what we see with that one, if people are interested in that or not. I don't, we'll see, right? So, but yeah, I have expectations that it'll be a broad-based, showcase of a variety of different games, and I'll hopefully be able to find some good stuff there. I generally tend to, but I'm generally more lenient, I guess, than others as far as what their expectations are for the showcase. So I have generally given them about a B, but unfortunately, I think the industry, not the industry, I guess the fans don't usually agree. And that is up to them, right? It's whatever they like, whatever they don't like. I think they're looking for those like massive AAA things, and I'm like, I don't know if you're going to see a lot of those. You might, but like it's probably not realistic to expect that kind of thing, right? Don't expect GTA 6 to show up here. They don't need it. They don't need
GTA is
Keighley.
bigger than everything. They don't need Keighley.
Yeah, they don't
What
need
about
it.
what about Splinter Cell and that tease from Ubisoft?
I mean, normally they have a Ubisoft Forward, right? They don't have one, at least
They
that I'm
don't have
aware
one
of.
this year, right?
So
I didn't know if they had one or not, so I wasn't sure.
I haven't seen
at least
anything.
they haven't announced one, right?
They haven't, and usually by now it'd be announced because you have to like get it on schedule for people, right? So I don't think they have one. So it's going to be on one of these stages if it's going to show up. My my expectation would be that there's an alignment more so with Xbox than there is with Keighley, but it could totally be on Keighley's stage. It totally could be, right? So,
because why else would they tweet that picture?
I think they're going to give us an update, and it seems like that update would be on one of these showcases, right? And these are the two big ones, right? It's SGF and Xbox. And where is there more alignment? I don't know. I would think it feels like an Xbox thing, but again, I would not be surprised if it's at SGF. Maybe they want to have a more broad-based appeal to it, right, and not have it be kind of associated with Xbox. Fair enough. So that is really up to Ubisoft. But from a like making it happen, because the last I heard, wasn't there something about like being kind of sidelined a bit because they didn't have the funding for Splinter Cell, right? So maybe. I'm wondering if they worked out a deal to put it in Game Pass, right? That would be a fantastic, awesome thing for Xbox to pick up.
Yeah, it would.
So that would be a cool announce, right? Just like the Ninja Gaiden 4 thing. Maybe this is something that they put together and they have a sort of Game Pass deal. Again, Microsoft doesn't care the game being everywhere, right? It'll still go everywhere, not a problem, but it could go into Game Pass and that could help fund the game. And that way it would also show up on Xbox's stage. But yeah, I assume it's going to show up, Splinter Cell, but Could it be on this one? Yeah, it could be on this one, but I think it might show up on the Xbox stage. I think there's just more of association with that, right? So
Maybe you could do something like here when I think of Xbox, what they could give Indiana Jones DLC.
Yeah.
sure,
I mean,
sure.
something like that. I don't know. Like maybe
Yeah.
can you not fit that in yours? Because I mean, it's got to be revealed at some point. I don't know what the plan is about rollout, but maybe you could announce that and then also announce the Switch version at the same time, right? Switch version launches.
You could see that, right? A whole bunch of Switch 2 announcements that would have released the day before, right? The Switch 2. So this could be the chance to say these games coming to Switch 2, right? That kind of thing. So that's always a possibility. But you're right on DLC, right? There's always this like give and take of how much of the continuing content do you want to have in the showcase versus somewhere else, right? You know, there's going to be another Elder Scrolls Online seasonal update, a Fallout 76 seasonal update, a Diablo update, et cetera, right? World of Warcraft is due for their next major, you know, they have a trilogy for their, you know, new story arc, right? Is that going to show up here or somewhere else? Or maybe they wait, I don't know, whatever they do, because they have BlizzCon too, right? So you could just see it there. So I don't know, like they could do some of those things there. I don't know, right? Those are good places for that. And then keep the showcase from all the new stuff that's coming out. I like the idea of remasters, remakes being on Keighley stage. Just put it out there. It's fine. But yeah, I like those are potentials, right? I don't know if there's other online ones that people like want to see, you know, maybe a Call of Duty update or something like that. They certainly wouldn't do Call of Duty there. I'm assuming that'll be on Xbox's stage. But yeah, so but I'm still looking forward to it. I like reveals. I would like to see some games. Hopefully there'll be good reveals that come up from other publishers, studios, indies, right? We'll see what we get. There's a lot of listed stuff. So as far as partners, but you might be right, Rand. It might be just for play days. It's not reveals. So, but yeah, but I mean, if it's for play days, maybe it also include, you know, it would include.
I'm not saying Xbox
you know.
won't have something for the Keyleys.
Yeah,
But I'm just saying, like, they usually, typically, if they do, it's something on the smaller end.
Nintendo's supposedly there too, right? As a partner.
I mean, the Switch will be out for a couple days at that point. Do you start the marketing for your fall games at that point, or do you save that stuff for your own? Because isn't there supposed to be like a new Switch Direct coming soon? Isn't that the rumors
Probably,
point
right.
to? So
It would have to, right? They really haven't given us their fall lineup, right? So
True.
They've given us a couple of games that are coming, but they're mostly like summerish, and then we don't know. Metroid Prime 4 is the only one I don't know when that's coming. Maybe fall, but I would expect them to have more in their lineup. All right. Isn't there one before that? Like this one? Did we talk about this? I don't think we did.
Let's do it.
All right. So Denny Passion Official, $5. I don't want Sony or MS to buy anyone else. Why? Because independent studios have better opportunity to make awesome games like CDPR and Sandfall. Well, they're not well, Sandfall is a studio, obviously, but CDPR is a publisher.
Yeah.
And they own their own store, right? So so they're they're big enough. And I agree. I don't want CDPR to be bought, but could Sandfall be something they buy? I don't see that being totally negative, but you know, could they? The only trap is what you don't want to do is say, "Hey, let's buy this 30+ person team and make them 300," right? Because that changes the whole dynamic, right? So just let them be what they are and just leave them alone, right? But they have been able to do that, right? So they bought Double Fine, for instance, and said, "Do you, right? We're not going to change you. You need more funds for something? Let us know. Otherwise, do you do the games that you want to do, right?" And if they just leave them to that, it's not a bad addition, right? But either way, let's move on to this one. Do you now the Broke Boy Insider member for 3 months? Good evening, all. Hope everyone is doing well. 5 days till the start of the Summer Games shows. New COD reveal at SGF or Xbox. Definitely Xbox Showcase. It's not going to be at SGF. It's time.
What if they go back to their previous COD reveals, Hargeet, where they used to reveal the game in August at its own special event? You think they go back to that? Or
Possible, but I would think they would do it in the June showcase. I think they want to continue to keep like hammering it home, like that we own this. It's ours. So,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna keep doing. I don't know. That's my thought. GUK now, the Broke Boy Insider, $2. Damn it, Hargeet, you got to steal my stuff here too.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right, we're caught up there. Yeah, I don't know. So, any other Webdave? Do you have thoughts on what you might see at SGF?
You know, it's I think it would be if there was a few things that they wanted, if there's something they wanted to get off their chest, as it were, that's multi-plat, would probably go over better if they did.
Everything's multi-plat, so I don't know what that really means, though.
I mean, as far as it may be timed exclusives. South of Midnight's not out there yet.
I mean, sure, but those are incidental based on like the size of the studio and the resources given to them.
Sure.
I'm just saying I wouldn't pin your hopes and dreams on being like, well, the multi-plat exclusives will be at SGF, and the time ones will be.
There may be a few things.
I mean, sure, you could be like Clockwork Revolution might be like a exclusive like South of Midnight or Avowed, simply because of size of the studio and the resources involved. Didn't have time to port it, what have you, like something like that. Maybe even something along the lines of Double Fine's game. Although Double Fine is typically multi-platform, so probably not. But I think Xbox. Look, that last partner direct, they had everybody's logos in there, including a game they were marketing with, which really didn't make any sense. So I think if you're thinking like, well, they'll put the multi-platform announcements here, but that's just not what Xbox is anymore. So I think you're kind of I think anybody expecting that is they're going to set themselves up for disappointment.
Right.
When it comes to Sunday and what the games and stuff like that. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I understand myself.
I would see it as a different thing, though. You could say that games that have not already been announced that you expect, like Starfield, I fully expect that game to be coming to PlayStation, right? And so you could put that on Keeley's stage to say, a PS5 version launching in September.
I mean, you could,
right?
You could.
Right? That would be something you could do. And there's Starfield DLC due this year as well, right? So maybe you say, hey, let's just put that on Keeley's stage. Starfield DLC and coming to PS5, the Ultimate Edition of Starfield, or whatever you want to call it, right? Whatever. Right. So that could certainly be something that happens there. Redfall coming over. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, there is the possibility that, like, okay, Starfield with its DLC announcements and also announcement for PlayStation could be at the Sony, could be at Jeff's show. But I still think it'll still just be at Xbox's show,
right?
Because I'm not sure they're gonna shy away from protecting people's feelings about that anymore. Considering what we just saw at the Dev Direct, where that just had the logo in there. I think that's just. There's only so much you can do when you have all these games and your strategy moving forward. You can't tiptoe around people's feelings about that. So you're right. You could be like, okay, Starfield's over here because it's a DLC announcement. We don't really need it at our full show. That is a possibility. But I would still guess the Starfield announcement and the DLC is going to be at Xbox's show because Starfield's still a huge game for them. But we only have a week to find out.
Yep. We do.
Few days left.
Few days left. What was it we always like to say? It's all rumors and speculation until it happens. So there we go. All right. Let's go. We got
is Bungie at Jeff's show? Were they a part of that picture?
I don't think so.
Well, because I mean, with the rumors that they were gonna start the marathon marketing, but then it was, I think Colin put out there that it was sort of pulled. Yeah. So I wonder if like we see marathon again at the Keeley's. I mean, I think the rumors even suggest there's a state of play later this year or later this month.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I think they're gonna have to bury that for a little while until they get all their assets cleaned up.
Marathon's dead. So.
Canceled? You think it's canceled?
I don't know.
Hargeet,
they cancel that game. Bungie's getting shut down.
Well,
I think that game. I think the game will get delayed to next year. But
I'm sorry, they went through this shit already. They canceled factions and Twisted Metal and they were done with factions and they didn't care. They still shut it down before it even launched. So I don't know, man. I think Sony's become like a little gun shy now. I don't know what they're gonna do, to be honest.
Hargeet's background is priceless.
It is, but it's not because of me. It's because this is the biggest flop in gaming history, and Sony just really can't seem to do anything right when it comes to live service. Thank God they had Arrowhead making Helldivers. That's the best they've got. But
Hargeet, what does Paris had to say there?
Oh, sorry. Oh, LOL ran no.
I'm just saying maybe it was plans at one point for Marathon to be a Keeley show or whatever, but probably no longer.
Yeah, I mean, Abdel, I really don't know anything. I'm just speculating based on what I've seen from the like executives of Sony and PlayStation. And it's not been good. They're just, and you think somehow they're going to care about Bungie. Bungie has cost them billions and done jack shit for them. So I just can't see how they're very happy with it. They basically have burned all of their live service games. The only live service games they're going forward with are Team LFG with Gummy Bears, which is ex-Bungie developers. It literally came out of Bungie, and they created this sub team and made a new development team. And then Concord, which was ex-Bungie developers, right? Concord. It's laughably bad. It's just that bad. So I don't have high hopes for Marathon. I'm sorry. They're just like it's been one disaster after another. Could they pull something out of their ass and make it work? Maybe. But like, dude, like the amount of negativity surrounding that game and the whole controversy. This is like the 4th or 5th stupid copyright infringement they have. It's like, come on. It just, how many times are you gonna let this shit slip? The game itself was not apparently that fun. Arc Raiders came in and blew it away. Like, come on. I just don't see it surviving.
Downloaded in my system. But start.
I don't know. Why, Rand, you see it differently? You think Marathon's going to actually like survive?
I mean, there's a debate to be had about whether or not it'll be super successful or just kind of even keel. Bungie still has that name recognition that a lot of studios would kill for, right? Where people get excited just based off the name of your studio.
Yeah.
And I do think that, maybe you take some time, retool it a bit, launch when it's, clear, and who knows what could happen, right? Whereas, like, I think canceling it is like a totally different kind of thing, because at that point, where's your next project? How long is it away? You took the other project and moved it internally. Usually teams don't survive that sort of stuff. Look at the recent Black Panther. They canceled that game and then they'd shut down the studio alongside of it. So I'm not saying Marathon will or won't be a success. I'm just saying, like, I think they'll look at it and delay it because they know if they pull the ripcord, it's over. So I still think it comes out. Whether it'll be good or not, maybe it will. Maybe it'll surprise everybody. Give it an extra 6 months.
Possible.
Move it away from Arc Raiders. Get it away from GTA. And maybe people are like, oh, this is great. And then it becomes like a mid-success. Or maybe it comes out and it's just, it just does okay.
Well, if they move it 6 months, that puts it out in March, right? Which is, right before GTA. Because it's supposedly coming out in September. And I highly doubt that's happening at this point, right? Because I don't think they can work out the legal issues they're running into with the art in that short of time, let alone like actually finish the game and make it better and get people excited.
I sort of wonder who has control of when it releases. Is that a Bungie decision to release it, or is it a PlayStation decision when to release it? Because maybe PlayStation wants to send it out to die, so they can pillage more of Bungie. Remember, because weren't there reports that if their revenue falls below a certain amount, then they can sort of start raiding the studio, which it seems like they already have with the LFG stuff and the gummy bear. So maybe to the Sony's, it's like they see that as something else. Like, well, if it's a success, then fine, but we're gonna release it, and if it fails, then we're just gonna you know steal everything from Bungie that makes them great, and then cast off the carcass. I guess I don't know.
I think under their current arrangement, it's still published by Bungie, so therefore technically they have control over when it goes out. But you may be right in that there's pressure to put it out from
I guarantee
PlayStation.
there's a lot of pressure.
So I don't know, right? I don't know how that goes as far as like they are owned, but it is a publishing arm that makes its own decisions according to their arrangement. But look, ultimately they're probably going to listen to whatever Sony and PlayStation say. So, but yeah, I have very, very low hopes for. It's very disappointing because, as you mentioned, Ran, it's one of those studios that has made one of my favorite franchises, and it's like, well, gee, They disappointed the hell out of me with Destiny. I was very disappointed with Destiny 1. Destiny 2 was it was a bit better, but it still did not really rectify the situation. I did not have the same feeling playing Destiny that I did with Halo. Halo was so far and away better. So I don't know, if this was going to be the thing that brought me back. Well, it's definitely not that because they don't even have a single player campaign. There's just no campaign at all. So it's like, well, why do I even care? Right? It's just an extraction shooter. I don't play extraction shooters. I don't care. It's not fun to me. So it's almost irrelevant to me. And a lot of the core Destiny players aren't exactly attracted to it either. So, and certainly Halo players are like, well, what? This isn't what I want. So I don't know who it's for. And you saw that in the numbers. Nobody came. Nobody wanted to play this thing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I have very low hopes for this. It's sad. If it is the end of Bungie, it is the end of Bungie. But it is what it is, right?
Yep, that is for
Sadly.
sure. Let's.
Should I read the super chats?
Yeah, we got some member chats and then some super chats and.
Yeah. So Abdel, member for 7 months. Rand, is E-Day 2025 and is Final Fantasy a Game Pass drop? Shout out to Special Nick, best leaker in the industry. Talk that shit, Webdave. F all 40 bitches. Goat. Okay. Yikes.
Oh, too funny.
Well, I don't know if you want to answer that.
I think writing's on the wall about EDA not being 2025 as soon as Outer Worlds 2 got the direct spotlight.
Yep.
Because, yeah, Gears would have taken that if that was coming out this year. Absolutely, 100%. So I think there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Gears E-Day is not this year. You're probably looking at a fall release for 2026. If not, an early 2027 release. It's dependent on whether or not Grand Theft Auto gets delayed to the fall, and that impacts one of their other games launching in that time frame. Final Fantasy, a Game Pass drop? Like Final Fantasy 16? Doubtful. I do expect Square Enix to be at the Xbox Game Showcase with Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
They already announced Final Fantasy VII Remake for Switch. I also think they'll announce Final Fantasy VII Remake for Xbox. I think they'll probably launch at the same time this fall. I do expect Final Fantasy 16 to be there. I don't think it'll be in Game Pass though. Maybe it'll have like a launch discount, similar to what Death Stranding had when it came to Xbox, where it was like, hey, get it for. I'm not saying it'll be that cheap, but I could see it being discounted, being like, oh, here's Final Fantasy 16, not for 70, but for 50 for a week or something, with the showcase thing, and you could get it or whatever.
That'd be cool.
And let's amend that to Special Nick being the best Fortnite leaker in the industry, yeah? Then that would be an accurate statement. He's got those Fortnite leaks on lock.
He has got that down for sure. Got it, sure. Special Nick, you're always welcome to jump on the show on a future date. But anyway, so yeah, we do have a couple of super chats.
Yeah. Daily Fashion Official $2. I think Avowed OG style was changed due MS policy. I guess. I don't know what does. What is
The
he
OG
really
style,
referring to?
meaning like
Like
the trailer.
the isometric or the
No, I think he means like the darker trailer from that first the first trailer they showed in 2020.
Could be.
okay.
Where it was a little bit more darker. Uh,
Eh,
Could
okay.
be.
Okay.
I mean, the game did go through a couple reboots,
Yeah.
so it's certainly possible. But I'm not necessarily sure it changed because of Microsoft policy. I think it changed because of the direction of the studio and the direction that the game director and creative director wanted to take it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, it's probably more realistic, right?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, let me go back to the screen. Okay, so and then do UK now the Broke Boy Insider $5. We do know that Kojima will be at Summer Game Fest, obviously for Death Stranding 2. Is there a possibility we get an OD update as well? I mean, it's always possible. I don't
Maybe.
know.
Maybe they're saving that for the award show.
The award show. Yeah, it does feel like that's better served there because there's a lot of like Hollywood tie-in.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's possible that they show it at either the Xbox show or the SGF show. That's possible too.
Yep.
And then Dave Easy, $2. Here lies a marathon and Bungie. Rest in P. 2025.
Rest in
pretty
pieces. That's what he meant to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pieces. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
That
yeah.
typo. That's it. Welcome out to the over 306 people watching us now on YouTube and on X. Thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Got a lot of things to get into, but let's we're gonna we are definitely going to start. It's time. I think it's that time. I think it's that time.
If you like this video, please hit the like button.
Thanks, Dirt. Dirt Crickety. Yay. All right. So wow. Let's let me pull this up first. Here I hit the wrong button again. You gotta love when I do that. I don't love it when I do that. I hate it when I do that because I do it a lot. So let me pull this one back and yeah, well, I'll just pull this one up first anyway, since I already got it queued up. Boom, we'll do that because I like the artwork. It's a lot of cool artwork for the watch party, which Hargeet is a big responsibility for helping get this going. Along,
we
with,
knew
a lot of
Hargeet drew
others.
this, right?
No.
I think Ben drew that. Maybe Shaun had some influence in it as well.
No,
So,
Ben.
All Ben.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Looks excellent. Looks gorgeous, man. Looks really awesome.
Yeah.
So hopefully there'll be something at the show.
Yeah,
that we might be
he
able to-
should have his name in there. I think it's on the bottom right side. It
Is
has
it?
Ben Kenobi in there. But yeah. It is definitely Ben. So yeah, really
Yeah.
cool.
The showcase is coming.
Yes.
Yep. And we're
And our fan fest that we're doing driven by the community. So hopefully we'll have some fun. It'll be a bunch of events. We have a pre-show that's now publicly announced. So you know who the panelists are there. And I don't know if you have that one. You can actually show that to folks as well if you want. That's not on the site, I don't think. I can actually put it up on the site. I probably should.
yeah,
put it
go
up on the
go
site.
right. You
But,
meant put up on the site. Yeah. Let's see.
But I can get you the link for it.
Yeah, I can go to who's doing this too. We can go through them real quick. Give some credit there for the people that are working hard.
Yes. Yeah. So Alex has been doing a lot of work for us. He's in LA, right? So he has a lot of connections out in that world. So he's been able to help us get a lot of this stuff done. A lot of contributions monetarily as well as just labor, like a lot of legwork. Obviously, Ben's been like sort of the heart of this, trying to put this together, and all the graphics, all the you're seeing the pictures in the background here. That's all him. So we've been getting a lot with that. Ains has been helping out as well. Him and his crew are going to be helping us with video as well for recording and whatnot. Shaun, and then we have Dante, and then myself. So
Yep, here he goes, Mr.
Yeah.
Hargeet Chani himself. Thank you so much for doing this as a member of the community that enjoys all of this. I really do appreciate all the work that you put into it. It's pretty awesome. Did you send the link up, or did you?
Oh, sorry, I have
You're
not done
good.
that. Let me go get it.
I'll pull that up real quick, and then we'll move into the deeper discussion. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, of the fun that's going on, right? Sorry, I have to scroll a bit to
You're fine.
find it in our chat. But while we're doing that, I guess as far as the rest of it, there's a lot of other shows. There's a lot of Playday stuff going on as well. I don't know if people want to catch all of it. You saw Summer Game Fest has kind of put together a nice list. That's actually very convenient. You can throw it in your calendar. But yeah, here we go. I found the link, copy, and I'll throw it in our private chat. Paste. So there you go. Yeah, and so we have Paris and Danny and Brittany and Rihanna and Khalif as a pre-show. So they'll be doing a pre-show podcast. We will stream that live. But for those there, obviously you can watch it, and if you're at home, you can watch it as well. So we'll have that streamed. I don't think we're going to do any of the rest of it live as far as streaming it out, but there is a lot of stuff after the showcase.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll definitely record it, and then we'll post that up afterwards. So
now, is there anything the people that show up that can expect without not giving away any of the surprises or anything? I'm not asking for that. But is there anything like what to anticipate? Like when you get there, you're just gonna stand around. You can get your seat.
We have chairs as for a seat for everybody, and we are giving away merch as well. So when you come in, just like with normal FanFest, you'll get a tote bag of goodies and a lanyard, right? And so you can then go find a seat. And there's going to be snacks and sodas and whatever, right? Drinks. And there'll be some food trucks outside for those who want to get food. So yeah, it's pretty much just like a fan fest. So there'll be activities and fun stuff, and we'll hopefully make it fun for everybody. So, and then next year, hopefully it'll be even better. We had to pick something, and unfortunately, because of the time available, everything was booked. So luckily we got this place. So
yeah, for sure. And that's awesome. As you guys put this all together, we do appreciate that. So thank you so much for your hard work and getting that going. Just want to throw that out there. Let's put this in the background, bring this up as we kind of change directions a little bit and get things started. We'll play a little footage in the background while we get into this. So yeah, let's start talking about the actual showcase, the big cheese, the reason we're all here, and most of you guys are hanging out with us tonight. Stuff we're going to be talking about. So I guess the where to start this off, Amrana, I'm going to go to you first. Kind of break it up into a couple of parts. I guess because rumors, speculations, kind of thing. But let's start off with what do we think is going to be there? What are we anticipating is going to be part of the show? That's what should you just this is definitely they should have this and cover this part and let's go for that. And I'll take one step back with that question and say that some things that they've announced this last week were things that people were thinking, why did they save that for the showcase? Like the retro games coming on to Game Pass. 100 games that you can play, and the announcement of going to PlayStation on the Hellblade 2, that's the release date for that. Why wasn't that held for the is it because they have so much good stuff coming our way, or is it just something like that? Well, let's just get that out of the way so we can get to the good stuff. What are your thoughts on that, and what do you think is going to be there starting off, Rand?
I mean, specifically with the Hellblade 2 thing, I mean, I don't know why Hellblade 2 would even be considered to be there.
Oh yeah,
it's just like a Indiana Jones or a Forza Horizon announcement. It's just you just do it on Twitter. You don't need to waste time with Hellblade 2 because it's not like anything significant is going to be added. It's just like, hey, we're bringing this to another platform, so. I guess you could say maybe it's more. Maybe it was more interesting. Maybe the more interesting question would have been why wasn't Gears Reloaded announced there? Because that Gears is a much bigger deal than Hellblade, and I mean Gears Reloaded could still be there as part of a Gears E-Day trailer, or they could split it off and be like Gears E-Day is at Summer Games Fest. As for I don't know what's to be expected.
Yeah.
See, like what's to anticipate versus expectations.
Yeah.
My expectations are to see Double Fine's new game, whatever that is, right?
Right.
Because we know from the documentary that they basically paused 2 games to finish Psychonauts 2, and it's been 4 years since Psychonauts 2, which is one of the best games of the gen. So, if I would expect to see Double Fine's game again, I would expect to see. What else? I would expect to see Clockwork Revolution again. And I know they didn't show it last year, but they did show it in 2023, so I'm expecting to see In Exile's game. I'm expecting to see Everwild, actually. I know that's like, oh, people say that every year. It's like, well, gotta see Everwild now because it's been so long.
Right.
But I mean, there's been a lot of hints that Everwild's going to make an appearance, starting with it being like the holiday card that Rare used. It's a screenshot of it. Phil talked about it when he was on Xbox Era and stuff. So I feel like now's the time to kind of reintroduce the game to what it is. I'm not saying it's going to release this year or whatever, but I feel like, okay, that's going to be there. I mean, you have your other typical announcements, Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls Online, like the live service stuff. I'm sure there'll be something from Activision, whether it's a Diablo, whether it's a World of Warcraft, whether it's an Overwatch. So it's like, they throw those wherever in because they do have a lot of live service stuff. Another thing expected, I mean, Call of Duty, expected. Yeah. It's just a matter of where it's going to be placed. Does it open the show like last year? Does it close the show? Is it just a random game in there? That'll be there. Tony Hawk, Pro Skater 3 and 4 comes out in July. So, I mean, we'll see that again. Just like we'll see Outer Worlds 2 and trailer form during the show and the direct. Ninja Gaiden 4 will most likely be there because that's launching this fall. So there's those games that are going to be there, which aren't really that exciting to kind of predict, but just figure I mention them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even know if I really should say this, but like expectations wise,
yeah.
I mean, Contraband's got to be there, right? If it's still being worked on. It's been not as long as Everwild, but it's been long enough. So I would say those would. I don't really have my list in front of me, but those, just off the top of my head, those are some of the things that at least I would be expecting to see. State of Decay 3 is another one. I'm expecting to see more of State of Decay 3 here. Like last year's was more of like a cinematic showing with some gameplay. Like the gameplay was kind of shown more cinematically. This year I expect to see more of a, maybe like a 3-minute gameplay trailer, similar to like what they did with South of Midnight last year, where they basically just showed everybody, here's what the game is. I think we'll see that of south of State of Decay 3. I got confused there for a minute. As for Bethesda, see Indiana Jones, Doom. I don't think we'll see. It's possible we see Elder Scrolls. Like, I guess this is where, like, okay, so the expectation stuff is done to get like move into the anticipated category of like, what would I really want to see? I'd really want to see Elder Scrolls 6. And if you've been listening to Xbox 2 for like the past 3 months, I've been predicting Elder Scrolls 6 is closing the show. Ooh. That's my show closer. Because I feel like with Oblivion coming out and reigniting people's love of scrolls, I really think that's a good time to re-reveal Elder Scrolls. Whether it's 3 years away doesn't really matter, because a lot of the game, I know Xbox typically tries to stay with reveals that are less now, but they still have situations like Fable where they showed it off in 2023 and then it was like, and it's still coming up in 2026, which ended up be 3 years. And I think Elder Scrolls is big enough where you would have this like, okay, let's get people thinking about Elder Scrolls again and anticipating again. And I think Oblivion was like a good start to that. So in my mind, anticipating to see Elder Scrolls.
Mm.
Same thing with like Gears E-Day. I think that's my show opener. I got Gears E-Day opening the show.
Nice.
I can't wait to see what that game looks like. I would imagine we'd see gameplay in this one. I guess maybe they could do a more cinematic trailer, but what else? I don't know, like I guess you say like I'm not expecting to see Fable again.
Right.
I think that's going to be next
Makes sense.
year. Saved. I think they'll save that for the Dev Direct or the showcase next year. I'm not expecting to see Perfect Dark because I don't think that game's next year. And so I guess in the sense of Perfect Dark, if the game is 2026, it'll be at the show. If it's
Right.
not 2026, it won't be. It'll be in next year's. I'm not expecting Halo either. I think I think that's next year for the 25th anniversary. And
Ooh,
if
that's
it
good.
is Halo Remake, you could easily just run it as announcement and then release later that year. You don't necessarily need to do a full-blown marketing cycle of like how you would if it was like a Halo Infinite or a Halo 7, where you'd want to spin that up. It's like everybody knows Halo CE, right? You don't really need to spend a lot of time for that. Just like you don't really need to spend a lot of time for Gears Reloaded, because it's a known quantity, and sometimes it's maybe better just to keep the marketing short. I do expect to see in some form or fashion Project Keenan, whether as like a quick thing at the end or something in the middle, or whatever as part of that weekend. I still expect to see something about that Asus handheld.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think what else. I don't think we'll see Blade. I think that's next year. I know. Am I blanking on anything? Any other game? I don't have like even the studio list up, so I'm kind of
You're
off
good.
memory of what.
Did you
Clockwork.
say did
Clockwork,
you say,
yeah, that was. I included Clockwork as part of my expectations. This is
Yeah.
anticipated.
Yeah, and
I'm
then
trying to-
Everwild? Did you say
you
that?
already,
yes, Everwild was part
Yeah,
of
he
my
did too.
expectations.
Okay.
State of Decay 3 is part of my expectations.
Yeah.
So's Double Fine's game. So's Contraband. But my thing was like Elder Scrolls being at the end, Gears being at the beginning. And there'll be like an ID at Xbox montage. I'm sure there'll be some Game Pass announcements. Maybe, Battlefield, the new Battlefield be there.
Oh yeah.
Because I have a feeling. I mean, I guess that could be a Keeley show.
Yeah.
But Xbox usually has the marketing, but that's because they didn't have the COD marketing, so maybe they don't bother with it. I don't know.
That's a good
I
point.
don't know. What Hargeet, what do you got? What do you have?
So first, I'm like almost positive, but like I don't want to make a full commitment that Forza Horizon 6 is going to be there. I just have a feeling that it's going to be there. I think you were like thinking it's not, right, Ren? I think you're.
Well, typically they reveal those games the same year they release.
Yeah.
True.
I'm expecting Forza Horizon 6 to release next year.
Okay.
So that's why I'm hesitant to kind of say it's good. I mean, they surely could. They might, but I don't think it releases this year.
Okay. I think it does. I think that's one of the games. So outside of that, there you mentioned a lot of the ones that are in the works from their internal studios. There's a couple of other ones you could think about, say like Toys for Bob was working. That's not an
Sure.
internal studio, but it's on potentially a Spyro, something.
Yeah.
They might be ready to show something with that, right?
They could.
There's,
You don't really need to show something big of it too. You could just show a
just a
like
teaser,
announcement
right?
trailer.
Teaser.
Like, hey, we're doing
Yeah,
Spyro
exactly.
4. Here we go. Yeah, they
Yeah.
absolutely
Exactly,
could.
right. And then there's a couple of other third-party deals that they've been working with other teams. Maybe some of those are ready to show. There was this Wu-Tang game. There was it 100? I always get this wrong. 100 Heroes, 100 something. The ex Rocksteady team that
Yeah,
is doing
100. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Whatever the name is, 100 stars, 100 something like that. Right? They may be ready to show like a teaser of what the heck they're working on, right?
Well, technically, we don't even know if that game even exists. That was just a
Right.
rumor that never really was talked about ever
Substantiated.
again. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's nobody ever came with the project name or any of that stuff. So
Yeah.
but
hey, that's a possibility, right?
it's
I'm just
certainly
like thinking
possible.
of things outside of the norms, right? Of just their own studios.
Like
Elsewhere,
I think the Final Fantasy will be there. I think Persona 4 remake will be there. If you
Nice.
think about
that's a
third party
possibility.
stuff.
Persona 6, right? That could potentially be there.
I think 4 is more realistic. But you're right, 6
Yep.
could be there.
6 could be an announcement, right? If there really is a Sega partnership, right, then maybe there's the next Yakuza could be announced there. Could also just be on Keeley stage. There's a bunch of new Sega things, right, that were in the works as far as like their old IP. So maybe something's ready to roll, and they can bring that there. There's I'm not sure where the initiative is. I know they're working with Crystal Dynamics on Perfect Dark, but their shtick was that they would kind of set up whatever they need, hand it off, and then work in partnership to actually get the game done. But that does leave them open to starting their next project. And it's been quite a few years, right? So maybe they're ready to show us what the next thing is that they're working on, right? So maybe they show us something surprising there, right? That could be another cool thing that could potentially happen. So those are the kind of things I was thinking. As far as like Halo would definitely be the announcement I would want to see as the end of the show, just like E-Day was. I could see what you're saying though, Rand. Maybe that is like a next year thing. Very viable. That's certainly the case. I'd love to see Elder Scrolls 6 if they're ready. That would be cool to see like a sort of an update of where they are. But yeah, I don't know. I'm like, there's plenty of potential options because they have so many studios. There's also like other Activision things, right? There were supposedly games that the main COD teams were working on besides COD. So if that's something they're ready to showcase, we could potentially
I'm still
seeing something there.
Personally, it's like those games might have just gotten folded into whatever they're doing with the COD games in general. You know what I mean?
Very well.
We haven't really heard an update on any of that, and that was like 2 or 3 years ago. So
Yep.
could be canceled or just like, hey, you guys are too important. Keep on working on COD. We don't got time for you to work on this other stuff. I mean, I would love it if Infinity Ward were able to do something else.
Yeah,
and
exactly,
I mentioned
right?
else is like there's the Elsewhere Studio, the new one, that Activision bought. So
Yep.
there's a lot of possibilities of things that can be there. The question is like, well, you only have
so much,
maybe 25 to 30 games that you can show.
Yeah.
And
5 or so are going to be third parties, right? That have nothing to do with Xbox.
Yeah, they'll be
Right,
third parties.
do
you think this is where we get the Splinter Cell thing? You think if it came down to Keeley's or Xbox, it's at Xbox's?
I would. I'd probably put it at 60-40. I'd say Xbox, but it is very possible that it shows up on Keeley's stage.
I mean, that would be beautiful. That's a 10 out of 10 show right there.
Yeah, right.
Just Splinter Cell by itself. Maybe that's the show closer, huh?
Ooh, maybe
it could be. For me, I like what you said, Ren. If they're gonna not have Halo, ES6, right? Elder Scrolls 6 is the closer. If not, Halo to me would be the one. I want to see Halo. So if they're gonna show Halo, that's the closer. Look, Call of Duty, obvious, that's going to be there, right? We all know that Call of Duty is going to be there. So whatever. I don't know, like that. Those are kind of the things that are coming to mind. But you've mentioned the majority of the stuff that's there already, Ren. There's so many of their stuff that we already know about that they still have to show us. Right? So those still have to come out. So
yeah, which
Yeah.
is why like I'm not expecting to see Fable again simply because we've seen it 2 years in a row. It got delayed. They did show us more gameplay of it when they delayed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it skips this year, and then it could get a big re-reveal. Well, not necessarily re-reveal, but it'll be at the dev director next year's showcase.
Yeah.
And I feel like I felt like the only reason they really showed it last year was because they wanted to be like, it's 2025. And it was like, when they gave that trailer with the date, it was like, oh, what? It's next year? Right? Which kind of goes into my line of thinking about Perfect Dark,
Yeah.
where I said, if Perfect Dark is 2026, it'll be there. But if it's not, it won't. Right? And granted, we've only seen it, not including the 2021, but just, or the 2021 reveal, or no, it was revealed in 2020 at the VGAs that year, but we had to wait a long time to see it again. So there's like a lot of stuff they could show. It's just like, when are the release timings for a lot of things?
yeah.
And I personally think like State of Decay 3 and Clockwork Revolution are early next year. So that's why I'm saying like my expectations are for them to be there at this show. Same thing with like Double Fine.
Yeah.
But I know like by saying like, oh, Fable's not going to be there, or Perfect Dark's not going to be there, or Halo's not going to be there, people are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But it's also, sometimes it's like that's just how it is, right? I would love to at least see what Halo looked like in UE5. That's my interest in seeing Halo Remake. It's because I
Yeah.
played the game so much. It's like, do I really want to play it again? But I am interested in seeing what it looks like and what sort of changes they'll be doing. I just feel like, well, I don't know. Let me ask you this, Hargeet. Did the Gears Reloaded announcement change how you think Microsoft will roll out Halo everywhere else? Because for a while there, it was like, the Gears collection's real, and they're going to release on other platforms as 3 games. But then when it was just Reloaded, and it was just one game, because people were expecting Master Chief Collection to get announced for other platforms, where it was like a whole
Yeah.
suite of games. But now with Microsoft looking in the direction of, we're just going to do one Gears, charge $40, and now like, hey, we hear the rumors about there just being a Halo CE remake. Does that kind of throw out the window of saying like, oh no, Master Chief Collection's not coming to the other platforms? It's just going to be, they're going to piecemeal it like each one. So they, so here's Halo CE remake for $50, and then a couple years later, maybe you do Halo 2. Right? Did that change how you thought about how they might do that a little bit?
Not really. I think ultimately, like games where it makes sense for them to put it in as many platforms as possible, they should just do it. So I think they're going to take advantage of that. Now, Halo hasn't yet made it over there, but I kind of fully expect it to. I think a Gears game, which is multiplayer, you should just get as many platforms. Like you want multiple players, you want as many players as possible, right? As much engagement as possible. So put it everywhere. I think that's probably the better direction. Sadly, because I really don't want Halo going anywhere, because I associate Halo with Xbox, but I get it. It from a like game perspective, from a financial perspective, from like an IP perspective, it makes much more sense to just put it in as many places as possible at launch. And you don't want to stagger it if it's got multiplayer. It just doesn't make sense. You should just put it everywhere. So I kind of expect those games to just be launched everywhere. But I could be surprised. We'll see. I see things like South of Midnight. That kind of makes sense to stagger. Who cares? It's not like it's going to like light the fires of like sales. So no matter where you put it, right? It's like, yeah, whatever. So those kind of games can stagger and be kind of exclusive for a little while. But I would think these kind of games like Gears, it's got the multiplayer, right? So
I mean, Halo CE has multiplayer.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So I
Yeah.
think even if they do like Halo Remake, it'll launch on PS5. It'll launch on Switch too.
Sure,
it'll
absolutely.
launch everywhere.
That
So
makes
I think
sense.
it'll just launch everywhere. Yeah. So if they do a Halo Master Chief Collection and put it over there, great. I'd be surprised that they do that because it took them so much to get that to work. And I don't know if there are people left to use is it the Blam engine? I don't know. I think it was called the Blam engine, whatever the engine was for Halo before they went to the Slipspace engine. Somebody has to go figure out how to make that work on PlayStation, right? So I don't know if they want to spend the time on that or not. Let's say, you know what, the heck with it. We're just going to move this up to all to UE anyway.
Yeah.
So let's just wait for that, and we'll put that everywhere. Right. So, but that's up to them. Maybe they want to go ahead and do all that work. That's up to them, right? So, but for Gears, it's pretty straightforward. It's already running on Unreal, right? So bring it over. It's easy enough to bring it over. So.
Yeah. It's so much possibilities. A lot of different people throwing things in the chat as well. And like Amit Kumar, ZeniMax Online. There's supposed to be something they've been working on for a while.
And it's an IP based thing, right? They had licensed IP or something like that.
No, they said it was new IP. They said it was new.
Oh, I thought it was some licensed IP stuff. I don't know, but yeah.
Last year it was like they said it was a new IP they've been working on for 4 years. So this year would be 5 years. But then again, I don't know how much time you need to development for an MMO. They folded a lot of Arcane Austin into them. They folded a lot of Roundabout into them. You know, because they're doing Elder Scrolls Online.
Roundabout is Roundhouse, or whatever.
Roundhouse, Roundabout, whatever.
Right.
I mean, it's certainly possible. You know, you drop a CGI trailer for whatever they're doing. But yeah, it's just I mean, if there was any, I would love to see Blade just to see what Arcane's working on. Because I love Arcane Leon. I just if I had to guess though, that's next year because I think all the reporting has that releasing like 2027 at the earliest. So
makes sense, right? It's gonna take them a bit to get that going. So when did they announce that? Was that 23?
Yeah, that was VGA's 2023.
23, right? At the end of the year, right? So yeah.
What about those trademarks that Bethesda recently re-upped on? Dishonored, Deathloop, Wolfenstein, Quake.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of people thought that was them leaking their
weird
their lineup. They're like, those were the reveals that they were going to have at the showcase.
I mean, I don't know about that, but like, who would be doing Dishonored? That was supposed to be Arcane Austin, right? That was what they pitched, and they're they're not exactly around to do that. So I don't see that being. It's probably just the standard, like, hey, they're lapsing, so let's just re-up them, right, or whatever.
Could be, yeah. Could be that time.
I don't know that Quake would be ready to go if they were ready to do it. Who would be doing it? Would it be?
It would have to be Machine Games.
Machine,
no,
or
or
id,
I'd
right?
have to be id, I guess.
Right, so Machine or id. It's one of those two, right? But Machine just put out indie, and they're looking to do more indie, which is fantastic. I love that plan. But let's see if that happens or not. And then it just did this. That doesn't mean they couldn't be running multiple teams, in the studio to have Quake also be going at the same time. But they just did release a game, right? So I'd assume a couple of years at least before we see anything from them. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think those are ready to go, but yeah, it could be that other MMO thing, whatever. That's a possibility, right? So
yep, for sure. Hargeet, do you mind reading that message from Adele?
Webdave, play if this is about competition. Oh yeah,
So if this is about competition, let us have competition.
Yeah, and I guess we effed around and found out, right? So yeah, but that's okay. The one that doesn't age so well is this one.
This is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
For the next year or so, after which we're going to totally cave on that and never do that again. Okay, yes. Continuing on.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't hear that part? Oh,
oh yeah, I missed that part. That's funny though. That is funny. So all right, so to guess to move it to the next level, because obviously there's some rumors and some speculated things we thought were going to be there, but like it's like let's get into crazy town. Let's just get into like hypothetical. This couldn't happen in a million years. There's no way they're ready for this. Oh, look who it is. Look who it is. It's the one, the only, the legend, the myth himself. Dirt Griggity, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the chat.
If you like this video, please hit the like button.
All right. I love it too. You read that?
The missions change. They always do.
That's right. That's right. I wish I had that clip to play. That's a very good one for sure. Dirt, welcome to the show, Dirt. It's good to see you in the chat. Yeah, so because I know he's excited for the show as well too. But yeah, so what?
Look, gamers should all be excited for the show.
Exactly.
It's going to show games, right? So,
yep.
Unlike some other platforms where where's the showcase?
Oh yeah, they
when
don't
am I
have
going
one.
to see the showcase? Oh,
or if you listen to them, they're like, this is their showcase coming up, right? This is their big showcase. This is their secret showcase. Oh yeah, really?
The top secret showcase. That's
their
right.
top secret showcase is brought to you by
Xbox
Xbox.
Showcase.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they only have one game. One game.
Ghost of
listed.
Yota.
Oh yeah, Ghost of Yota. That's it. And I do like Dirt Greedy says 10-year deal. Yep, 10 years. Then what happens? We don't know. Pay a lot of money. We'll see. Or maybe by that time Game Pass will be on on PlayStation. Just a possibility. Anything's possible. But all right. So Rand, we're going to start with you. What would be like? All right. Let's somebody think he's crazy. That's crazy talk. What do you think? What do you just you can just and we're going to preface this by saying Rand is not going to be giving away any insider information. This is just Rand's personal thoughts and what he would like to hear, what he'd like to know. We're not going to take into any kind of credibility that in the past Rand has speculated some things have actually come true. Like almost like he willed them to be. And that just happens. Except for Final Fantasy, that still hadn't happened. Yeah,
that's not on me. That's on Nate the Hayden Jez.
Of course, yes.
So,
no. Nothing's on you. This is all. None of this is
not on me.
No, exactly. No. We are so happy to have Rand here. We are not going to put him on the spot at all. But Rand, if you were to, I don't know, hypothetically, just pull something out of the air, and what would you just absolutely love to see happen, or love to see come up, or maybe something nobody's ever heard of. Rand, what are your thoughts about this? What are your crazy predictions for the showcase? Anything?
You know what? Just so I could get people to shut up about this.
Scalebound.
Scalebound and Banjo back to back. There you go. So I can literally hear, so Paris and all the Banjo bros can finally stop crying about it every single year. So I don't have to hear about it. But yeah, Scalebound, and can we please get that? And then Banjo for all the man children out there who still think of themselves as 12 years old playing, sitting in front of their N64, playing Banjo. There we go.
There you go.
But that's not for me. I'm a generous person. That's for everybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
I'm thinking about the well-being of everybody in chat or the people that grew up with that. Because if you would have asked me, I would, if I was in charge, I'd make sure Banjo never saw the light of day ever again. But I'm a generous person, so
put them together. Scale Banjo.
Yes, nice. There we go. You know what? And as Dirt says, Blinks too. Bring that back as well. Let's bring back brute force while we're at it.
Oh my god! It's just crazy talk.
Reignite Fable Legends.
Oh no! What happened?
So,
yeah.
I mean, personally, I guess. I mean, I would like to see what those Rocksteady guys are working on that Hargeet mentioned. Sefton Hill, like they left Rocksteady, supposedly working on some like character action game with Xbox, like being a Rocksteady fan, I would want to see what they're working on, and partnering with Xbox is pretty cool if that was the case. So that would be one. Obviously, Splinter Cell. I mean, come on. How many times have everybody predicted this year's show is the show that Splinter Cell's gonna return? I think it's been a thing since literally, I don't know, 2015 that everybody's like, oh man, what about this? What have this? That would be an all-timer. To get Sam Fisher back it would kick the show up in the stratosphere.
That would be so awesome.
All right, here's one for you. Half-Life 3.
Ooh.
A partnership between the beginning stages of a partnership between Steam and Xbox. And with that said, here's a reveal of something, Phil. Gabe and Phil shake hands on the stage.
Yeah.
And then trailer rolls for Half-Life 3. Man, you're talking about showcase of the generations right there.
I would do it.
Yeah.
That would absolutely be crazy if that happened.
So you heard it here first. Confirmed.
You heard it here first. We're absolutely never going to happen. Maybe in some alternate infinite universe where anything's possible. One of those universes has it happening.
I mean, do you think they're even working on
Unfortunately,
something
we
like
don't
that?
we don't live in that one.
Right. I mean, it seems like if they were working on it, they would have had something out long before now. It just seems like.
I mean, the rumors suggest it's happening, though.
Does it?
That's what they say. The rumors suggest it's playable from end to end.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That was now. Your buddy, our good friend, your great friend and partner on Xbox too. He hasn't said anything about that, right? I mean, he wasn't
About Half-Life?
Yeah.
I don't think Jez really cares about Half-Life, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But I didn't think it was something that he was even, So if it's not on his radar, I'm thinking it's probably, because he's, granted he does get some, definitely some inside information that what
I'm sure if you read his article in there, I'm sure there's things in that article that are happening.
Yeah.
So the question is, what will they be? You only have to read it and then think about it after the showcase.
Exactly. And if you want to read that article, it's Windows Central, windowscentral.com. Definitely go check that out. The amazing articles up there. Jez and his team put out some amazing work. There's some really, really, really good stuff and really, thoughtful interviews and insight. And I do like it that they usually, he very rarely will jump out on a story unless he really has something locked down. And that's what I like about it too, because there's a few things he's admitted in the past, even on your show, that he's that he's like, oh, I was so close to to getting that, but maybe Jeff Grubb or somebody else kind of beat him to it because he just wasn't going to want to pull the trigger on it, just yet. I
will say the rumors around this show are light. There's not a lot of talk surrounding this show. Which is very different than years past. Very different. I don't know if that means anything, but there hasn't really been a lot of leaks or people talking out about it. I don't know if that's maybe changed because of Xbox's position in the market, perhaps.
Maybe.
Or maybe they've cut down on leaks, or maybe there isn't anything exciting to leak, or what have you. I'm not sure, but I definitely will say this is very different than the previous years. So, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how to, because usually rumors are flying by, and you gotta kind of wade between what's real and what's make believe. But not this year. It's kind of I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a low key show because I don't think it is. They have a lot, but I don't know. Maybe this week is when all the rumors and stuff, speculation. Well, I think there's a difference between rumors and speculation, where then someone comes out and said this is absolutely happening. That's like different than people guessing at stuff and getting it right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like you said, there's a lot of people that have definitely been saying that they think things are happening for sure, but yet it's like or let's anticipate possibly the biggest show ever, even topping last year, which, like you said earlier, 10 out of 10, a lot of people were calling it, which is crazy. But to think something bigger, that's, that's even crazier. And that the leaks are healthy. Somebody else made the comment too that, some of the layouts were, Microsoft getting rid of the leakers. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's, it could possibly be. Hargeet, you want to read this super chat from Mr. Dirk Grigley?
Sure. Dirt, $5. State of Decay 3 gameplay or we riot. I'm hoping to see something about Contraband, Everwild, and Double Fine next game. Yeah. I think those should be there, I think.
Dirt, I agree with you 100% on all those.
Yeah.
Yep. And the people saying Dirt confirms KI2. How did that come out?
I mean, it's a possibility too. Iron Galaxy, I think, is the company, the studio, right? That's kind of working on it. There could certainly be something going on there, right? So we might see something about that.
Well, Jez keeps seeming to think that that's been canceled. That they moved on and they can quite get it the way they want it, and they've moved on. But who knows? Who knows? So Hargeet, we'll get Ran a breather, so we get him off the fire pit, as it were, and we're gonna put you on the fire pit for a minute. What are your thoughts? What's some crazy talk, crazy ideas? And not that you're an insider, but you do have your ear to the door and listening in a lot of things that things that might get brought in conversation. I'm not saying you have anything, but just if anything, something that maybe you've heard that could be crazy, or somebody else has talked about. You like, man, that would be cool if.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about the one that I have an inkling on, and that's the Forza Horizon one. But crazy things. I like the Half-Life one. That one's pretty cool.
Be nice.
And acquisition would be just crazy. That would be freaking awesome. Imagine them coming.
I guess
up
it would
with,
be crazy depending on who it is. Right?
Yeah, right. So Xbox plus somebody. Let's say it's Valve.
Steam.
It's Take-Two. Let's somebody crazy like that. Now I don't think any of that's going to happen, but because I think the next acquisition is going to be something else at Microsoft. But that would be freaking awesome. It could be smaller things though. Those could obviously be there, right? So there's a possibility of a Sandfall, a Sobo, right? The team that does the flight sim stuff, right? So could it be something like that? There are smaller studios I work with. Could they be just like saying, hey, we're going to just add them to our family? That's always a possibility. Outside of that, as far as crazy, would be a hardware announcement. I think you were saying, Rand, that maybe they'll show Keenan, whatever you want.
Yeah, whether it's at the showcase or whether it's at the Keeleys or whether it's some sort of reveal after the show and like press things or whatever. I sort of expect it to get its unveiling that week somewhere.
Yeah, I just hope it's not in the showcase, because if they want to do something to make it useful, they need a lot of time to really kind of go through what they've changed, right? And I don't think you'll get that across in a showcase format. And I don't want them to waste 15 minutes or something like that of the showcase on hardware. I want it to be on games, right? Since they have plenty to tell us, right? So outside of that, sure, if they have some other type of thing that goes over that, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, like if they were to announce their own hardware as far as like the next Xbox or something like that, that would be insane.
Oh yeah.
So that's a possibility. But I again, this is just crazy talk.
Right.
And what else? Like, if they announce some sort of partnership with a major publisher on a major AAA thing, and like good Splinter Cell would be one of them. I think that they could say, hey, this is coming to Game Pass, right? This is like Ninja Gaiden 4. We're funding it, therefore it's coming to Game Pass. It's going to be published by Microsoft or something like that. So that could be a potential. Could there be another one like that where they partner with somebody else? Imagine this: Final Fantasy 17 published by Microsoft. Could you imagine something crazy like that? Because in this case, the exclusivity thing goes away, right? Microsoft would never do that. They would say, no, put it everywhere you want. We're going to publish it, though, and it's going to be in Game Pass permanently. Can you imagine that kind of announcement? All right, talk about totally flipping the script, right? But hey, those are always possibilities, right? Help fund the game and then also put it in Game Pass, but also leave it everywhere. Like have PlayStation, Switch too, no problem.
Yeah.
Right? Put it on Steam, Epic. They don't care, right? So, but it would be permanently in Game Pass, right? That would be so freaking ridiculously, like crazy as far as like Kingdom Hearts 4. I haven't heard a damn thing about that for a long time. I don't know where that is, right? So could that be coming up somewhere on Keeley stage or on theirs? But like that could be another thing they say, hey, let's lock that into Game Pass, something crazy like that, right? So, but those are the kind of things that I'd throw out. Ultimately, anything from Sega going into Game Pass day and date would be also incredible, right? I don't know if they'd do it, but it is possible, right? So if you take one of their newer like reboots from their older IP, right? Maybe one of those could just go into Game Pass, right? Maybe not their mainline things. Persona 6, probably not. Next Yakuza, probably not. But you could see something like I think they're doing like a Crazy Taxi. They're doing like an Altered Beast. All these like older games that are being rebooted. Maybe they take one of those and throw it into Game Pass day and date. That'd be kind of cool, right? So again, those are kind of the crazy things. But yeah, acquisition would be the big one, right? That would be crazy if they just show an acquisition. I don't know what else would be crazy. I don't want to go too crazy, like it's. But that probably is it. A really crazy thing would be like, we're leaving hardware. That would be really, really crazy.
Yeah, we're talking about good news. We're talking good news. Good news.
But anyway, so yeah, I don't think that's happening, obviously. But yeah, so like I think acquisition would be the craziest announcement. But if they partner with somebody, and again, like Ninja Gaiden 4, which just how many people are blown away by that? Ninja Gaiden Black 2 and then Ninja Gaiden 4, both going into Game Pass day and date, one of them being published by Microsoft, right? Like out of nowhere in a dev direct. That was pretty amazing, right? So could we see something equivalent to that? That would be kind of cool. But those are the things that are coming to mind. I mean, there's probably many, many more types of things like that where they partnered before on bringing games over. And there's a possibility with more of those potentials, right? So another crazy thing, and this would be setting up for the future. We're getting rid of the paywall. No more paywall for online.
Needs to happen.
And your enticement for Game Pass Ultimate is we're adding in Ubisoft Plus, something crazy like that, right? That would be insane. But I don't know if they would do it, but that is a possibility, right? Again, like Ubisoft needs money, and this could be an infusion of cash that says, hey, we have whatever, 20, 30 million, ultimate subscribers. We'll give you $4 a pop or $3 a pop, right? That's a huge check for them, right? So maybe they say, yeah, let's do it. And, they take away the online paywall and replace it with that. That'll make a lot of people happy, I'm sure. So that's a possibility. Like that would be really, really cool, right? So, and these are just off the wall, ridiculous ideas.
Of
right?
course, yeah. No. But some of the things that you and Ram both have said, it's like, oh, but if that could happen, ooh, that would be awesome. I mean, look, I think it's going to be a great show. I think there's just the potential is there to be amazing. Are we going to get surprises? I think we're going to get at least one, if not two, big surprises. Something that's like out of left field and like, where'd that come from? I do think we're going to get the Microsoft buys Sony. Wow. I mean,
I could just imagine the regulatory headache with that.
It'd be hilarious.
And you're saying Sony, not even PlayStation, buy Sony.
Yeah. That could be crazy. We got a couple of member things. Let's get through those real quick and some super chats.
Yeah, Adidas. How's it going, Adidas? It renews his membership for 20 months.
There you go.
Hey, we got Dirt.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And then Torino Johnson, member for 16 months. Thanks. Renewing.
Yeah.
And Torino Johnson, $2. Webdave, I gifted you 9 Minkies of Shaolin bundle.
Monkeys. Yeah. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Okay, JD Gamer, member for 2 months. These are some games I'd love to see. Rise 2, that's an interesting one. Banjo, Scalebound, okay. Final Fantasy Remake and 16, so 7 remake. Mortal Kombat versus KI, and an Xbox kart racer with all its characters, which really would just be an update to the is it Crash Team Racing or something
They could
like that.
definitely do that easy.
So they could just do that, right? All right, Webdave has gifted himself 5 Webdave memberships.
Get to the community. What do you mean?
Yes, yeah, I gotcha. Let me scroll back to tell you who got him. Pisau Man, Louis, and Poon, and then Skywalker UAV1, and a Spidey King X.
There you go. Congratulations to everybody. Got the memberships, and thank you so much for joining us. And of course, you get your own membership for just $1. It's all it is, $1, and that gets you access to all the cool emojis, including the one for Randall Thor 19, Hargeet Chani, myself, and of course the man that's here just jumped on and joined us, Dirt Griggity. Dirt, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, fellas? How everybody doing today?
Doing great, man.
Dirt?
Doing great.
What's up, Rand? How you doing? Hargeet, homie, Webdave, everybody.
How's it going, man?
Good to talk to everybody, man.
Yeah. So did you want to jump on and maybe give us some bars, maybe what the thoughts and predictions you might have?
Well, just me personally, man, I'm going to keep it simple. It's just 2 games I really want to see gameplay to. And I already mentioned it in the chat. Gears of War E-Day and State of Decay 3. Those are the 2 games I'm waiting to see some gameplay, because obviously we know those games are coming soon, both probably next year. I just want to see some gameplay of those games. I'm a big fan of State of Decay. I love State of Decay 2. Put a lot of hours into that game. Of course, it kind of released buggy and things like that, but I still love the game, and I'm a Gears fan. So I'm really looking forward to seeing those 2 games, to seeing the gameplay of those 2 games, because that showcase last year, man, was it's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And Gears ending the show and State of Decay being like maybe the 3rd game they showed. There was some gameplay mixed in there, but I just want to see straight gameplay slice. And, I'm just really looking forward to that. But as far as surprises, I'm not sure, but I just want to be surprised. Xbox has so much content to it's at the point you feel they're going to have a good show. I know in the past, there were times we were begging for wait till E3. I remember those days, obviously. Right? Wait till E3. But you think about those days, those years where they really didn't have much first party. We were hoping and praying they would have something or some global publishing deal back then, but that really didn't happen. We're in a different time now, and they have so much content. I'm just expecting every show to be decent. I mean, great. I mean, I don't want to say every show is going to be great, but that's kind of how I feel at this point. Because after last year's show, and you think about it, they still have a lot of stuff that's not announced. They still have some stuff we haven't seen gameplay of.
Yep.
I was like, wow. So that's it for me, man. Those are the 2 games I'm really looking forward to seeing. Anything else is a bonus for me,
right?
Personally. If they show something that's unannounced, or some old franchise from the past they bring it back from Activision or Bethesda or whatever, that's a bonus to me. I am curious to see what Double Fine is doing, because I love Psychonauts 2. That came out in 2021. We're 2025, so if you look at the timeline, they should be showing something, right? I'm like, hey, man, they should be ready to show something. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that, man. Dirt wants voodoo events.
Yeah,
man, they keep on saying I have a 1080i TV, right? I was talking to Shaun, and I was saying how in 2006 and 2005, I mean, when the Xbox 360 came out, I had a 1080i TV.
Way back then.
But Shaun likes to say I still have that TV to this day. No, but voodoo events.
Yeah, that was
fun.
Exactly, fun game. Exactly. Dirt, thank you so much for jumping on, man. We really appreciate that and spitting your bars. I absolutely love all the stuff that you guys do.
Yeah, just listening while I was playing some games. So really, said David send me a link. Okay, I'm not doing anything right now.
A couple people in the chat were like, give Dirt a link, So I said, well, I'll if he wants to, he's more than welcome to jump on. You know that.
Thank you, guys.
Got another super chat there.
Demo Flow. That's the homie Demo Flow.
Yeah, Demo. How's it going, man? Demo Flow Gaming, $5. Excited for the Xbox show. I'm hoping to see some Gears E-Day gameplay.
Absolutely.
Me too.
I actually do see that. Yeah,
I can't wait. I just can't wait to see that, man. Because it's the Coalition, the Unreal Engine 5. Man, I just can't wait to see it, man.
It's gonna be good. Gonna be good. And a big shout out to the over 424 people that are watching us right now on YouTube and on X. That's so awesome. Thank you all so much for being here. We greatly appreciate it. I'm going to be wrapping things up. I don't want to keep Rand too long. We do appreciate everybody's time on the show, and it's just one of those things I'll try and keep it as respectful as possible. I can't do an 11-hour P-Lump show. That's not going to happen here for sure. 11 hours.
Or like a 5-hour Ray show. Like you did
yeah, 5-hour re-rate. I mean, kudos to them for doing all that, but I can't do it. And of course, Fonz has to come in. And hey, look, Joey's there. Yeah, Joey might be able to make it on the show next week. We're hoping. I'm gonna be doing a wrap-up show, even if it's like a shorter show from maybe my hotel room or whatever. We'll try and work out. Of course, he's kidding. Fonz is the best. But we'll be doing some kind of a little thing, and hopefully we're going to get Joey if he's able to. We talked to him about it, and he might be able to join us, and then we may have some other members as well. Hargeet may or may not be able to go. It just kind of depends on where we're at on setup and stuff. And if anything, I'll let you all know for sure whether it's going to be later or earlier. But most likely we're gonna do something. Yeah, I'll be there, Joey. All right, great, Joey. I'm excited to have you on. But like I said, I don't want to keep. We got one more of these to. No, we got to read that one. It's the next one. There we go. Boom.
Yep, there we go. JD Gamer, $5. A crazy announcement would be new layers, types of achievements. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Yeah. Partnerships or acquisitions or studios being built. I also would love to see Ori.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, and I think they're now excited to make an Ori game now that Microsoft has released their. I guess they've. They're now saying that if you do a game for Game Pass, we'll let you release it other places as well. Now that their stance has changed on that, the developers now more excited to gives him more of an incentive to make that game if it can actually go everywhere. Because that was one of his kind of got upset that it wasn't going before.
Yeah,
being locked into the platform. So
things are different now.
There you go. I know. Oh gosh, sorry, Rand. We got another super chat real quick. We'll get that down, and we're get everybody out of here. I promise.
All right, Lord Nader, $5. I want to see Game Pass 2, PC 2, 2025 Xbox Showcase Remaster, and Minecraft 2. Okay.
Well, there you go. That's definitely a speculation and a rumor and wishful thinking. You never know. All right, so guys, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining us. I can't thank you all enough. So many great things going on, but I would definitely want to, and I mean this with all my heart. Randall Thor 19, you are one of the, and I say this and not in a joking way. I mean this. You are definitely one of the legends of the community.
Absolutely.
You have a great story how you got to to become the man with $1 million, and it's the stuff of legends, and I do love your commitment to the community and the hard work that you put in with your co-host Jez. You guys have sometimes it's one of those things. It's just certain chemistry. Kind of like Dirt and Shaun, I think, have a great chemistry. Hargeet and Fonz have a great chemistry, and Randall and Thor and 19 and Jez Corden have an amazing chemistry. And I think it's fantastic. And I don't miss your show at all. Never miss one. I love it. So Rand, please tell everybody where they can reach out to you, where they can find you, and all that kind of good stuff, because we do appreciate you being here, Rand. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on. It was cool to hang out here and talk more about the Xbox and gaming showcase stuff. YouTube.com/RandallThor19 is where you can find me, and you'll even find me on Dirt's podcast coming soon.
Yeah.
Next Monday. And they said we got a 10-year deal in
the annual Rand Dirt Xbox Weebly Green show. How many years now?
I think this is 5 years in a row. Yeah.
Nice.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, 5 years in a row. Yeah. So
something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because before, Dirt would be like, he'd have Crap Gamer on because we know how much he loves Crap Gamer, right? So
I never had Crap on, but I thought about it when he flipped back to Xbox, and my partner Joey was like, "Dirt, if you invite that guy on, I'm quitting," and I never did. Thank you, Joey, for
You know,
Well-
Fonz just lied because he said Rand refuses to do mine anymore. The thing is, he refuses to have me on because I'm not on camera, and it screws with his settings. So it's not a Rand decision. That is a Fonz decision.
Oh wow.
So
Well, we
yeah,
know
Fonz
that.
out here lying on my name.
Oh man.
You know.
Oh, that's so funny. I love the back and forth that you guys have. Font says not true, but you know, we're just gonna say it's a happy medium. But I know that I'm on Discord. But Rand said that at some point he will get on camera, and you know what?
Eventually,
and it's cool. You know.
I remember those days the TXR, like when he was on camera for like a few weeks. And
I was. I don't know. I was.
remember
I was on a lot actually back then.
Yeah.
But you know
I
what?
remember.
It doesn't exist because somebody deleted the channel.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Make that show, man.
That's a shame. That's
Maybe
crazy. But yeah. So, Rand, again, thank you, and also a big shout out. You have a Patreon page. You also have you guys have some merchandise, which I got your newest shirt. In fact, I'm taking it.
I
with
didn't
me.
even know we have a shirt.
Yeah.
Jess handles all that stuff.
Does he really? Oh, it's on the Xbox.
I mean,
t-shirt,
Jess
new one?
handles
Yeah.
all the Spotify and iTunes stuff. I don't know anything about it. Jess started the Patreon without even talking to me. I didn't even know he was doing it. He's just like, I was just like, Patreon? We didn't even talk about this. He just did it. I was like, okay.
Well, there you go. Well, I mean, and you guys do your you guys just released the video, right? The one with Miles Dampierre.
We just had the return of Miles Dampierre. Who's now in gaming, but you know, we wanted to talk to him about stuff, and
Sure.
yeah, I'm sure we'll you know, next month we'll grab some people, and I don't know what's happening next week because I just realized we're supposed to do a show on Friday, regular show, but Keely's show's during the show, so I don't want to do the show on Friday,
right?
So it's like, well, I don't want to do the show Saturday. I'm like, we might have to bump it to Thursday, bump it a day forward.
Oh,
so I messaged Jez that, but he hasn't responded to me yet. So
might not be awake yet.
We'll see. We'll see how that all happens.
There you go. Well, either way, I'm excited to have it. And then, of course, like I said, I did get your new shirt. It's really looks good, and I'll be wearing that at the showcase. I'm going to be wearing that. You know, show my support for your channel because
thank you.
Oh, dude, you guys are awesome. And again, thank you so much for being here. And of course, I'll tell you, last thing I'll throw in for you is that if you are looking for some guests for your +1, I think Hargeet Chani would be great. I think Dirt Griggity would be a great guest. And I also think that Mr. Boomstick would be a good guest. Just saying, just throwing it out there.
Yes. There's a lot of people to choose from. And
there is.
It's just sometimes, Jez's schedule is sometimes hard to nail down.
Yeah.
So
I totally get that, man. I'm just messing with you. So, but anyway, Rand, thank you so much for being here. All right, so let's go. Dirt Griggity. Dirt, thank you so much for jumping on, man. We do appreciate it. Dropping some bars. A lot of members of the community absolutely adore you, and I think you're a pretty amazing guy. And like I said, you and Shaun do a lot of work. You guys do a lot of shows, and they're all, man, they're so funny.
Thank you, man.
Oh, dude, all the stuff that y'all do and put up, it's hilarious. Some of the stuff that you worked really hard on. And I do enjoy it a lot, man. And it's a lot of humor involved in it. And like you said before, some people just don't get it. So, but I do, and I love it. Absolutely love it. So please tell everybody where they can reach out to you and where they can find you.
I appreciate that, man. Tomorrow night we got WBG Xbox Podcast 6 p.m. on my channel. Check it out. Stop by. I'm actually going to drop a video. I just saw a couple of people blaming Xbox for people can fly situation. So, I'm going to call them out.
Nice.
Then I also want to do another video. I believe Hargeet said it, or like maybe you said it, Dave. These guys are claiming Xbox Showcase is their showcase. And I said, I don't recall these guys saying that about a Ubisoft or EA. Like they said EA Showcase is our showcase. No, they didn't say that. But why is it, I know Xbox is multi-platform, but why is this showcase their showcase all of a sudden? So I'm definitely going to do a video about that and have a good time. You know how I do it.
Exactly. It's so secret that Microsoft doesn't even know it's their showcase.
Yeah, exactly. This is y'all showcase now?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm going to have fun with that one. So.
Buy our games, we'll talk, right? There you go.
There you go.
There you go. All right, Hargeet Chani, man, hardly wait till next week to hang out, meet you. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be doing all the whole weekend of crazy stuff, lots of fun, and all your hard work that you and Ben and everybody else has put in to the
Yeah,
to
let's
watch
hope
party.
it works out and everybody has fun. I hope so.
That'd be
I think
great.
we have a good thing set up for people. So, but yeah, so I'll be on with Boom on Wednesday, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Double Barrel Gaming. We'll definitely do that show, and then I'll be heading out to go get my Switch. So
Me
pick it up
too.
at midnight. So I'll go get that, and then I'll be heading out to the airport in the morning and be out in LA on Thursday.
Yep.
And start doing all the fun that we have out there. So there's a lot of work. There's Playday stuff. So pretty jam packed for pretty much the whole weekend, including some Monday. So yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be fun. But there's a lot of work involved. So, but hopefully everybody has fun, right? The whole point of this is we're all getting to see all these showcases, all these game announcements. Hopefully it'll be good for as far as the two big showcases and all the other stuff that happens. Is if you saw the list of different things that are being shown over the weekend, right? There's like 10 of them or something like that on the Summer Game Fest calendar, right? So there's a lot of smaller ones, and sometimes they have some good stuff there too. So don't just dismiss them. But yeah, there's at least the two big ones. Hopefully we'll get a lot of cool stuff. Looking forward to it, and we'll be catching up with all the folks that are going to actually be out in LA. We'll hopefully do some dinners and lunches and stuff. But yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed agenda. Unfortunately, there's a lot of work to do.
Yes, exactly. Well, I'll be there to help, dude. I'll be there to jump in, do whatever you guys need. Especially on Saturday with these like pre-setup stuff. You get in early or early that morning if you need help. I'll be there. So whatever you need me to do, just let me know.
Yeah.
Not a problem at all. I'm excited for it. But guys, thank you all so much for joining us. Oh, look, Farku. There you go. He decided to show up. About time, slacker. I'm just kidding. No. I just woke up and missed the whole show. Well, you know what? That's okay. What? I sent you something.
What he sent no. What do we got?
Uh-oh.
Good old Farku.
Oh. Good,
what do we got? What do we got?
He did. Aw, that's so cute. Well, he didn't pick on you, Ran. That's good to know.
Wait, what happened?
So Farku, he is.
I have no idea who that is.
Well, Farku is quite talented.
I have no idea.
And able to a lot of the he's I would call him the master of AI.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
I might have seen some of his stuff then.
Yeah, I think you probably have seen something. Let me share the screen real quick, and then you'll definitely say some of his work as he. Oh look, it's Dirt's TV.
I mean, I haven't seen that one specifically. That's pretty good.
There we go. I knew it was something. I've been on the show for 15 minutes. Damn it.
I mean, hey, we all loved our 1080, 1080i TVs back then.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I
didn't have a gray beard when I had my 1080i TV, you piece of trash.
Well, were you 50 back in 2020, 2006, Dirt? Is that what's saying?
No,
here?
I was actually 30.
Wow, there you go,
youngins. 30 in 2006.
Awesome. But no, in all seriousness, Farku, thank you so much for being here, and hopefully you get a chance to watch it on replay or listen to it the audio version, which is going to go up here in just a few minutes. So guys, thank you all so much for being here. Look forward to everything that's got coming up this week. Like I said, it's rumors and speculation until it happens, and have fun, enjoy the week, and guys, be good to yourselves, and it's gonna be a good week. I really do believe that we are gonna have some good things coming our way. Let's just call it a hunch.
All right, now lose it. Go crazy.